What's up, Level Uppers? Welcome to the Level Up Show, episode 284. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori, and I'm joined tonight by the tech guru, Agent Vincent.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Welcome to the show. How you doing? How was your week?
My week was good. Good.
Yeah? Fantastic week? The best week ever?
It was the best week ever as of, it was just beat Death Stranding and,
Yep. That's what I was alluding to.
man, I gotta say,
Yeah?
tears
Tears!
for me at the end.
Always a good thing in my opinion.
Just a very, I don't even know how to really describe it. It definitely pulls a Act 4 MGS4.
Okay. Okay, so it goes for nostalgia? Like, that's what that means to me. If anybody doesn't know, Metal Gear Solid 4, Chapter 4 goes back to Shadow Moses, which is where the first Metal Gear Solid game takes place, so it's a little bit fan servicey, but in a way that I appreciated.
Yeah,
So,
I guess what I'm saying. Like, it goes more into like an Act 4, Act 5 type style game.
okay.
Really quickly with Chapter 9, and
Okay.
from there, dude, that's a Kojima game through and through. Like,
I'm excited because it does seem like as it goes further and further, it becomes more and more Metal Gear Solid, like in its storytelling and in its even in its action, if you want to call it that. It just gradually takes more of a turn towards that. And I know a lot of people really appreciated the uniqueness of the first couple chapters and the risks that Kojima was willing to take, and I appreciate that as well. But to hear that it goes a little bit more towards what I know and love, I can't help be a little bit excited about that.
And I will say the last couple scenes with the performances, the music, everything. I mean, some of the models, dude, I was like, this can't be in game. This cannot be running.
Yeah.
This cannot be running.
I've
in
thought that
real
a
time.
few times already, even
Like,
in
oh
the first
no.
5 chapters.
Oh no! It just like even especially the very like last couple chapters, it
Yeah.
just doubles it. It's just like
Oh
these are
my.
real people. These are real people on screen. You can't be fooling me right now.
I feel like a lot of people are talking about Jackie. What's his name?
Dude, his scene
Yeah,
for me was
that's what everybody's talking about. And we'll get to that with the Game Awards because
yes,
I'll just kind of spoil it now. He was not nominated for Best Actor, and a
was
lot of people are calling foul on that one. Supposedly he delivers an unbelievable performance
yeah.
in the final chapters.
We could talk about that later because yeah, oof. But was a very fantastic experience, enough so to where I immediately swapped over to Assassin's Creed Odyssey that day, and
Yeah,
it was instantly like a whiplash moment almost. It was like, whoa, hold up, what is going on right now? It
I'm
was
finding that a lot with impressions and tweets, the Twitter impressions. A lot of people that wouldn't even say that they love the game or enjoy the game that much are having a hard time moving on from it.
yes,
It just kind of sinks its claws into you, and even if you aren't necessarily enjoying it, hand quotes, finger quotes there, you can't help but want to go back to it in a way. And
yeah,
I'm feeling that myself, and I am enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I am enjoying it. I think it's a really fascinating game, but you think about it a lot. It's one that you can't quite put to bed after you leave it.
no,
Um,
no, you
you just
can't.
want to keep going back into that world, and it feels so tangible and real. For something that's so bizarre, it's surprising that it's able to feel so real at the same time as you go through it.
Yeah, yeah, you nailed it on the head. How's your week been? How's the new job been?
Yes, so I started a new job this week, and it's very demanding as I expected it to be. Long commute as I expected to be. Some of those days took me an hour and 45 to get home, for example. But all that being said, it's kind of weird how quick the days are going. It's a long day. It's like these are like 12-hour days that I'm doing right now, and they're going much faster than the 9-hour days that I used to have before. And I don't know if that's going to continue that way, but it's much more focused on interacting with people than I was even expecting. It's just meetings constantly, just phone calls constantly. and I'm enjoying it actually. Just interacting with people and brainstorming and figuring out the best way to go. I don't want to go too into detail on like what the job duties are, but I didn't. I didn't really know what I would be doing necessarily, and I don't even think they knew what I'd be doing necessarily in this new position. It's sort of this thing that's molding together as time goes on, and for that reason, this week was cool in that way. It's like, oh, so this is what I'm going to be doing, and then on top of that, like I actually enjoy this. This is cool. I'm down for this. So I'm uh I'm excited about it. I think the commute is rough, but I'm willing to deal with that because I think that it puts me down a career path that is uh, very optimistic. It could go to some great places. And then on top of that, I think I could really enjoy this job in a way that I never thought I could actually enjoy a job. To me, a job's always been a job. Besides streaming, if I didn't even consider that a job, but any job that I've had in the past, when I would come home, it's like it's all right. It's a job. It is what it is, kind
Right.
of thing. But this one, I could actually feel myself someday saying, I had a good day today. I'm excited to go in today. And that's cool. That's
That's
an exciting thing.
that's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not streaming.
Right.
It's always going to be bittersweet that I moved on from that. But if it can be something that I feel happy doing in the future, then I can live with that.
That's the best right there. Like you said, if
Yeah.
it's something that you can go and you're not weighed down by it being a job, then that's good.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing is if I could come home and not just say, "Hey, it's a job,"
Right.
that would be really cool. Be able to say, "Hey, it's more than that to me." Something that I actually, and I don't get me wrong, I always put my all into anything that I do. I don't want to imply that I don't. But if I feel passionate about that in the process, obviously that's the best thing for all of
Exactly.
us. If we feel passionate about what we're doing and feel satisfied in what we're doing, and we're not just putting in our best work because that's what you should do, because what you want to do, and because you feel satisfied, like you're satisfying yourself and also pleasing, whether it be your superior or your supervisor or the company as a whole. If you can go in every day feeling that way, then I think you're in a pretty good position. So yeah, but thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm excited. I think everything's going to work out pretty well. I did not
Good.
get to stream on Wednesday, and I apologize for that, guys. Evie is sick. She has a cold now. She has an ear infection as well.
Oof.
So we just Kristen just took her to the doctors today, so that's why I couldn't stream on Wednesday. I'm hoping that this week we can get the Wednesday Saturday thing down. Those will be my 2 days each week, and I think I will go back to Death Stranding on Wednesday, just because I really would like to finish that. And Jedi Fallen Order is on the agenda, but I'm going to talk about what my plans are for that later on, considering some of the news that popped up this week. I think it kind of put a plan in my mind on like how am I going to get to this game and at what point. So we'll get to that later on. But for that reason, I actually didn't play anything this week.
Yeah.
What about you, Vince? What were you playing this week?
Well, obviously, Death Stranding
Yeah.
took up the majority of my time. Like I said, we finished it. For me, my total gameplay time was around 58 hours. For me, was
Okay.
where I
58.
crossed the finish line. Now, mind you, I spent one whole stream a week ago, pretty much 14-hour stream, I think, doing chapter 3 side missions. And
14-hour stream. Oh wow.
yeah, I mean, I just went and I did all the social connectivity. I built roads. I was starting to do more of the networking stuff there, and then once you get past the other area in the same area that chapter 3's in, I'm not trying to spoil anything for you, 'cause
Yeah.
you were at chapter 5, right?
I'm at chapter 5, yeah.
Okay. Um, there's some other stuff there that traversal there gets more difficult because of certain geographical things that happen. And then from there on, it was pretty much a kind of a straight burn for me. It definitely picked up pace right after chapter 9, and that's whenever it kind of goes. It kind of
Now, can be a spoiler to some as well, but I already know it. I've heard that chapter 9 is actually the end of the game. and then what's after that is considered post game. Is this true?
It's the end of what you've been doing, if that makes sense.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
It,
and the
it
trailer is almost implied that as well. Like if the launch trailer, you could see that there's a point where your mission is accomplished in a way. But you know what I'm talking about, right? In the launch trailer where he's
yes,
talking to Fragile and
yes, and
yeah,
that's the thing is, what it does is this is where it's like almost a two-part game,
yeah,
and Chapter 9 finishes off the first part of the game, and
okay.
then it's the segue into the
Act
last
two.
couple chapters of the game that
Yeah.
really kind of change much more into a more typical Kojima game. With it still does a little bit with the first part, but it's got much more of a you don't want to be spending time doing what you're doing. It's more there's more kind of a what's the word push to do story and not do the other stuff you're doing.
Okay. I'm already in that mode. I'll be honest with you. I'm in story mode now. Whenever I play this game from now on, I'm going story, story, story. I need to get through this game. I need to get the story. I need to find out what happens and move on. That's the move. That's got to be my future when it comes to almost every game from now on. Unfortunately, it's gonna be that way. I think for me.
I, I
So
I'll give you I'll let you know, especially because it is Kojima. There is I want to say I'm not going to say the chapter number, but there will be a chapter, and I think you'll feel it because you know Kojima games like I do. Buckle in, it's going to be talk time for a little bit, and it just
you're talking about like get some popcorn.
yes.
Okay.
And the thing is
Yeah, gotcha.
there's a couple things there that I would have changed because it's a little overindulgent
Yeah.
somewhat. Like it's like he tries to change something up, which I really appreciate what he did here with this one segment, but it takes I think around 45 minutes for it to get through,
Wow.
and it's kind of like
Yeah. So there were a few moments in
okay,
Metal Gear Solid 4 that were like that as well. Some those intermission cutscenes between chapters. I think there
yeah,
was one of those that went on for about 45 minutes in that game as well.
but think that you're just playing while that's happening.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It kind of gets to the point where like, okay, let's move on now. I
Move
got
on.
it.
Yeah.
Let's go. But I think whenever you get to the actual like near the end, when you start seeing the actual just cut scenes,
Hmm.
you're in for a ride. Well, just that's where like I was like I'm awestruck right now. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
I need to finish it. I have to.
You do.
I just got to get it done. Let's go to the chat here and welcome everybody to the room. We've got 18 people in here. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are on a new night. We are on at a new time. Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be the new schedule for the Level Up show. So for that reason, it's going to be a little bit of time before we can get our viewership back up. And you guys can help with that, obviously. Share the show. Let people know that it's now on Saturdays. There's going to be a lot of people who are wondering tomorrow night why it's not on. So we got to try and get those people in the know that it's now on Saturdays and hope that it works into their schedule. And maybe we can find some new people to watch the show since maybe Sunday nights didn't work for them with a Monday morning, work
You can eat my
schedule.
dirty asshole
So
with a spoon.
wait for it.
I hate you.
Thank you, LOL Broha. So yeah, we gotta get people in the know. We gotta get people in here. Share the show. You can type in exclamation point share in chat. You can type in exclamation point retweet in chat. We put those tweets out there as well. So help me out in that way. And welcome to anybody new that we might have, because we might have a few new people in here on a Saturday night. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that heart button here at twitch.tv/the Level Up Show. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get alerts whenever I go live on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Become a part of this awesome community. If you want to be a part of it, even when I'm not live, I'll put the Discord link in the chat for you. There you go. Discord.gg/Level Up Network. Great community to be a part of because we talk movies, television, video games, obviously, politics, memes, sports ball, all of it. Everything is on there on the Discord, so it's definitely a great place to hang out. And I'll be there as well pretty often now with my work schedule. I'll keep Discord up on the side. You guys can chat with me as well when I'm not live, which is unfortunately more often than not at this case. But we got Agent Vincent as part of the community, and he's been helping me out a lot recently. And I think you guys should give Agent Vincent a follow as well, please. You can put his name in the chat. Go ahead, Vince. Agent Vincent 4756. So yeah, go to his Twitch channel as well. Give him that follow. He's been such a great help with me recently while Mike is trying to figure out if he can make the show work into his schedule. And he is actually optimistic that Saturdays might be able to work for him.
That's awesome.
So we might see the return of Mike the new guru. Durock coming in with the tier 3 sub producer. Durock, thank you so much for producing the show. We'll give you a wheel spin during one of our wheel spin segments. That's the way it works here, of course, guys. Subs, tips,
Durock.
cheers. They will give you a spin of the prize wheel. The higher you go in support, whether it be $5, $10, $25, you get different wheel spins for each. And for Durock, we'll be doing a dirty wheel spin, which has high XP giveaways on top of some nasty stuff that I might have to eat. So we'll get to that later on. We also have our after show still active on Saturdays. So you guys can see at the bottom, that is a 30-minute after show at $30 in tips tonight if we hit that. And we'll even double that if we get to double the goal. So $60, we'll do a full hour after show, which is entirely dedicated to just talking with the chat. As you can see, we don't focus on the chat most of the time during the main agenda of the show, so we can get through the stories, so we can discuss what's going on. But if we do get after show, that is what it's all about, is just chatting with you guys about anything and everything. Games, movies, television, what's going on in your lives, what's going on in our lives. That's what after show is all about. And we'll even activate media share in case you guys want to tip $1 and throw a video up on the screen, or send a song to the stream that we can listen to. We can just kind of hang out and chill. That's kind of what's cool about after show. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about here before we move on? Because I didn't play anything. Here's one thing I want to talk about. I'm excited about this. I just found out about it yesterday, and I think you probably saw this as well, Vince. Did you see that Bits emotes are coming to Twitch?
I did not.
All right. So, if you have hit certain tiers on Twitch over your streaming career, like for example, if anybody has a 50,000 bit, what do they call it, badge, that means it's opened up that tier, and you can add emotes now to that unlock for those type of people. So 1,000 bits, 5,000 bits, 10,000 bits, 25,000 bits, 50,000 bits, emotes can be associated with all those, which means that you could open up a whole lot more emote slots now. We could add probably 5 emotes to our channel now for people that have those bits badges.
Wow.
Which I'm excited about, because there are a lot of emotes that you guys have been, clamoring for a while now, and we can add them in that way, so that people that do support with bits can open up those emote unlocks. So I'm excited about this. We'll talk about it on Discord about which emotes you guys want the most, and I'll have to figure out which tiers I currently have access to. I'm not even sure that they've technically opened it up yet, but we'll get to that. I'm sure Durock is excited, because he's always cheering biddies. Store as well, the number one cheerleader, I should say, of this week. We got Store at 2,900. We got Trish the Dish at 2,720. Hitman RX is at 1,700 this week. Durock is at 1,526. So we got people that send in those biddies very often, and you guys will unlock those emotes, which is cool. Minstrel says that makes sense. It's felt a bit like bits haven't been promoted in a way that makes them compelling compared to with simply donating. This makes sense for everybody, right? It makes sense for Twitch, obviously, because it's going to encourage people to use their currency system, which they get a large portion of the revenue for. So it's going to encourage people to buy bits, cheer bits, get those emotes, and of course, it favors us as well. When you guys cheer 100 biddies, we get $1. That's the equivalent. The sad thing is that you guys have to spend more than $1 to get $1 worth of bits, but that's the way it's going to work when it comes to Twitch. And we could talk about this another time, because I actually talked about it recently with what is the best way to support the channel. If you guys ever want to talk to me about the best way to support the channel, just message me on Discord or whisper me on Twitch, and I'll let you guys know what I consider to be the best way to support the channel. But I do also want to say on top of that, if you guys are supporting, you're supporting. It's amazing. Every single one of you, if you're sub, tip, if cheer, if you're tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, if you're a viewer, if you're a lurker, whatever you guys are doing, Patreon pledge, whatever you guys are doing, I appreciate every single one of you just for being here. So if you want to go above and beyond, of course, that means the world to us. But if you just want to sit back, relax, not even chat, that is totally cool as well.
Cool.
All right. It is cool. It's very cool. And that's going to have to be it for what we've been playing. So let's get into the official non-gaming portion of the show. Oh, Vince, producer, and a year. Oh my!
It's been a year since I've been with you guys.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at that.
It's crazy.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane that it's been a full year. Let's get the video up on screen here. Hold on one moment. I'm not sure. Let's see. There we go. Video. As I was about to say, let's get into the official non-gaming portion of the show. It's called the Level Up Show Has No Game. We got 3 non-gaming topics at 3 minutes each. Vince, are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Let's do this. First up, it has no game. WB has no plans to release the Snyder Cuts, despite the cast promoting it. Which is really, this is what's really weird about this, is over the past week, Gal Gadot and I believe another one as well. I don't know if it was Jason Momoa or
it was Jason Momoa.
It was Jason Momoa tweeted out hashtag release the Snyder Cut, which at that point it's like, okay, this has got to just be one whole big marketing ploy to promote the Snyder Cut, right? And then a few days after that, WB comes out and says, nope, we have no plans to release the Snyder Cut. What's going on here? Does Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa actually want the Snyder Cut to release despite the feelings of WB? Or is this all behind the scenes a big promotional effort? What do you think, Vince?
I mean, I feel like it's been a big promotional effort considering it's been going on for what now? 1.5 to 2 years of just constant complaining about it. So yeah. I feel like it's got to be some sort of marketing thing. If you start seeing Henry Cavill or even Ben Affleck, even though they're not really attached anymore, if you start seeing them do that, then you know it's marketing.
Yeah. And what about you? Do you have any interest in this supposed Snyder Cut?
I do. I'm always interested in seeing these apparent, the Snyder Cut was like, you get all these rumors about how, Josh Whedon wrote 80 pages again for this film.
Yep.
And just other things it's like, okay, well, what was the original intention here? And I'm just curious. It's always curious. Doesn't mean it's going to make it any better.
You could feel it in that movie. It's one of the major issues is the tonal shift that often happens throughout the entire film. Not even just at one point, it's like, oh, now it's tonally shifted. It's like, no, it goes back and forth throughout the whole thing where this was Whedon, this was Snyder, this was Whedon, this is Snyder. And you could see that Snyder's vision, and especially after hearing more and more about Snyder's vision, he had a much darker vision. And that's not surprising. I mean, it's Snyder. So, yeah, just for curiosity's sake, I would definitely be interested in watching the Snyder Cut. I don't think it's going to be a better movie. Let me just say that. I think there's a chance it's actually going to be an even worse movie. I think Justice League is mediocre at best, and there's a chance the Snyder Cut is worse than mediocre. All that being said, yeah, I want to see the original vision. I'd like to see what was planned as this sort of endgame-like, meaning Avengers Endgame-like approach that they were taking, where Darkseid was going to come into focus and the world was going to be destroyed, and then they were going to have to bounce back from that. So all these rumors, I would like to see where that was supposed to start, at the least, right? Even though we will never see the fruition of all of that, unfortunately. I think it had potential. I just think that at that time, especially WB was such a cluster F, that there was no way they would be able to make that work.
No.
Moving on from that. Let's continue on in WB. Joker! Very good movie, right, Vince?
Very good movie. Very good movie.
Very good movie. Both like it very much. Directed by Todd Phillips. Joaquin Phoenix absolutely killed it.
Talking about
in the role of Arthur Fleck. Real shit bomb, thank you, man. And what's cool is supposedly a Joker sequel is already in the works, with Todd Phillips as director, with Joaquin Phoenix returning as Arthur Fleck, aka the Joker. Now, this is a surprise for a lot of people. Not for Todd Phillips, but more so for Joaquin Phoenix, because he's just not that kind of actor. He's not the type of actor that would return to a superhero franchise. This guy is, for one, a curmudgeon little fellow. He's in his own world. He doesn't care what other people think, and he wants to do what he wants to do. And most of the time, it's for artistic reasons. Now, Joker is probably one of the most artistically ambitious superhero films we've seen yet. So, okay, yeah, if it was ever going to happen, this was probably it, right? This is the time for Joaquin Phoenix to return into the role. I think the question becomes, does this enter into the DCEU? What do you think, Vince?
I don't, it's weird. I really don't think, I think if anything, if they try to do it, it's going to be an influencer for something that happens into it. But I think it's gonna stay kind of out in its own section, if you will. I
Okay.
just I don't know. Do you see? I don't see this Arthur Fleck interacting with the Batman,
I
or
don't think that was the original intention at all. I think if it does happen, they are going to have to finesse it.
they are going to have to finesse it. And that's the thing is, that's why I'm saying I could see the influencing
Yes.
part of it being a thing. I just don't see this. But I do love this. I do love this movie. I think it has a really great message behind it. I think Walking's acting is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's just
He could certainly be nominated for this performance.
right. But yeah, I mean, it also doesn't surprise me. Like with the sequel in the works, I was like, yeah, it's the first. It made $1 billion. Like
It did. It is the highest grossing R-rated film worldwide now ever.
yeah,
And especially considering the budget of the film, it is an unbelievable financial success.
Oh
So
my God,
they
smashed it.
would have to be crazy not to try to continue this as a series. And I really could see them trying to work it into the Batman, Matt Reeves' The Batman, which we're about to get to in just a moment here. Now, in order to do that, it's going to require them to mess with the age, I think, of Arthur Fleck. I think they're going to have to try and sell us on him being younger than he appeared to be in Joker. That's the only way they can really make it work, in my opinion. But let's continue on with Matt Reeves, the Batman here, because we got some casting news. Thank you so much. 2 follows already coming in, Sumo Guy and Hip Old Guy. John Turturro is going to be Carmine Falcone in the Batman. Wow. And let me just start by saying that the casting on this film is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. There's no way that the cast will be the reason this film fails. Nope. There's no way in hell. It is stacked. It is absolutely stacked. Let's talk about it. Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne Batman, of course. And to anybody saying, Twilight guy, get your head out of your ass and watch some of his other films. The guy is a great actor. Fantastic actor, even. Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle, Catwoman. She started off in X-Men First Class. Not the greatest actress, I'll admit, but she's shown a lot of growth over the past decade. She's in Big Little Lies, I think is the name of it now, on HBO. She does a great job on that show. A lot of people really talking about her as an up-and-comer. And she's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and she has that edge needed for Selina Kyle. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. Such inspired casting here. He is very well known right now for his performance in Westworld, and that's just one of many. The guy is, for one, he's got just a fantastic voice, fantastic candor, and I think he's going to kill it as Gordon. Paul Dano as the Riddler.
Yeah.
Most punchable face in the world, and that's why he's perfect for this role. He's one of those like dweeby nerdy guys that you also see behind that is a terrible person often in the performances he brings. Perfect example of that being There Will Be Blood, which is one of the greatest movies of all time, probably. So, amazing. Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth. What do you think about that one, Vince?
I'm already sold on that because it's Andy Serkis. I mean, like, the dude can perform in a green screen room and almost, he can sit there and do whatever he wants. He could ramble and almost give an Oscar-winning performance. He's extremely talented.
The only reason he has been nominated is because there's no recognition yet for CGI performances in that way. But that's going to happen someday in some form. And I think Andy Serkis is going to be a large proponent for that to happen. Yes. And I do think he's going to be great as Alfred. Colin Farrell, lastly, is a rumor right now. Not yet confirmed. This is, by the way, John Turturro here on screen in The Big Lebowski. Just a hilarious performance as Jesus in that movie. Or Jesus. But the rumor is that Colin Farrell will be playing Cobblepot, the Penguin. And I see the mob boss type of Penguin with Colin Farrell, without a doubt. And that's the direction they're going to go. Without a doubt. Matt Reeves, if he's doing the Penguin, that's the direction he's going.
And that's the great thing too, is they're gonna do the mob boss. Yeah, you're right. The mob boss, always living the high life type deal with it, to the instant anger, instant rage that character can have. And he could pull that off. So
he's a fantastic actor.
He's
great.
It off.
I got to say, one of the great superhero performances, in my opinion, is Bullseye. Colin Farrell as Bullseye in Daredevil. Now, not a great movie.
No,
like
but
a
he
it's like a
sells that part.
mediocre C movie, but Colin Farrell went for it. For that, he
He went
handed
for it.
up in just the right amounts, and he was humorous while also being intimidating in that film. I really actually liked his performance as Bullseye. Now, granted, I think a lot of people will look at his performance as Bullseye and it's so different than the comic book version of Bullseye that might be your complaint, and I totally get that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just talking in isolation. If you look at his performance as Bullseye and forget the comics, I think it's actually a pretty cool role that he brings to the film there. And that actually had a potential to be a pretty great comic book film, but the studio got in the way. That was actually supposed to be an R-rated, much gorier, much darker, edgier Daredevil film, and the studio got in the way. And as a result, you get "Bring Me to Life" play.
Oh, Thor's theme song.
I know Thor's theme song play during a montage, a training montage with what's her name? God damn, Ben Affleck's ex-wife,
Jennifer
Garner.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, wait, hold up, I don't want to say
Yeah.
the right one.
You needed to get me started there. Thank you for that. So yeah, I just realized that was literally 3 WB stories we went through there in a row.
Went right through it.
Yeah.
It's all Warner Brothers. They're making the move.
Hip Old Guy, how you doing? I want to say welcome again to Hip Old Guy and also to Sumo Guy. We got 2 guys joining us, and it's awesome. It's good to have some new people coming in the room, probably because this is a new night for us, actually, to those that are new in the chat. We used to be on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We've done this show for 6 years now. It's gone through a lot of changes. We've had 4 people do the show at one time. We've had 3, now we're down to 2. Vince is actually a community member that's been helping me out a lot recently, while I've had to do the show solo to an extent. So yeah, we've had a lot of change, a lot of growth, and ups and downs, but we haven't stopped. We're actually coming up on our 6-year anniversary. Oh my goodness, an X1 Bros coming in. Bring the hearts.
Less than 3, less
Bring
than
the hearts.
3.
Less than 3. Twitch Prime with 16 months. I got to give a shout out here, of course. Everybody. X1 Bros is the premier talk show for all things Xbox related over there on Mixer. So go to mixer.com/X1Bros. Check these guys out. They've been doing it just as long as we have. They've been on the exact same trajectory while not having the ups and downs, I will say. They've been just on that steady line of having 3 dedicated guys talking Xbox for 6 years now, and they're so good at what they do. So go over to mixer.com/X1Bros and give them some love, give them that follow, and maybe check out Mixer for the first time if you haven't yet.
Yeah, they
I know
kill
a lot of the guys here, a lot of gals here, are Twitch dedicated and maybe haven't checked out Mixer. That is the one to check out over on Mixer, especially if you like talk shows like this one. You're here, so I'm assuming you do. I'm old. I can see the box cover in my tiny mind. What's this for? What box cover are we talking about here?
Ghosts and Goblins, I think is what they're talking
Yes, in the trivia. Yeah. Did he get it? Oh, he got it spelled correctly, too. A lot of people mess that up and lose a lot of XP trying to get that answer for that trivia. So kudos to you, Hip Old Guy, on getting it right for the first try. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's see here. What do we want to do? We got to move on with the show here.
We got to move on.
But to anybody new, once again, hit that follow button in the chat here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get alerts whenever I go live every Wednesday and Saturday. You guys can check in with ! schedule in the chat. That'll give you the schedule as it stands right now. And we're going to move on to one of our newer segments. It's called How You Reviewin'. And you guys can check this out on our Discord at discord.gg/The Level Up Network. It's all about taking a look at games new and old. And Vince and I will discuss 3 categories and review them. But let's get this intro and you guys can see what the game is this week. How You Reviewin'? And this week we are going to be checking out What Remains of Edith Finch, submitted on our Discord by Brett. This is a game by Giant Sparrow. A lot of people would call it a walking simulator. So a good place to start on this one, category-wise, would be presentation. Now, I apologize, Vince. Have you played this?
I did play it. I was like, I panicked for a second. I was like, oh wait, no, I didn't just play it, but I did play it.
Okay. So is this something that stuck with you?
It is. The art style is something that definitely stuck with me. It's funny, I can't quite remember the story a little bit. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I must not have been
All
paying
right, let me take the
attention.
lead here for you then.
Go for it.
What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the most somber games I've ever played in my entire life. And it's one of the primary reasons that I love it so much. This is one of my favorite indie games of the generation. It is a walking simulator through and through. You are going throughout a house as a young girl, piecing together your family history and the curse that has plagued them. They
Right.
all
It's
have
depressing,
a
isn't
curse
it?
of dying in crazy ways, almost like death has it out for them. And you don't know why she's going there exactly, why she's doing this at the beginning. And I don't want to spoil it. There is a clear reason at the end why. Oh, I just knocked out my headset. There's a clear reason at the end why this is all happening. But it is so. It just captures you from the moment it starts, and you are so invested in her and also in the family as a whole. There's one part I'm going to spoil because it blew my mind when I played it. There's one story about one of the deaths in the family, and it was a baby that drowns in the bathtub, and you play as that baby right before it dies. And but it's not exactly what you would think. It's not like you're just watching this baby drown to death. It shows the baby playing with the toys, playing around the bathtub, and then you enter into the baby's like first person view going down it through the drain, and it, almost like he's passing on. It's I couldn't believe what I was playing. It was I almost cried, I almost teared up, but at the same time it was presented in a almost playful way, and the whole game is like that, where it just subverts your expectations and presents these tragic events in the most bizarre ways, whether it be a horror slasher film being presented in the panels of a comic book. There's so many different ways. The presentation is fantastic. So much heart and passion and cleverness and artistic merit went into this game. I think it's really a beautiful, beautiful story told in a beautiful way. And we now have to go into gameplay, and this is a tough one. It's a tough one to talk about from a gameplay perspective because, as I said, it's a walking simulator. Like, literally, this is as walking simulator as it gets, right?
Yep.
Now, like, that doesn't have to be a derogatory thing, right, Vince?
It's never a derogatory thing in my thing. It nails what it wants to do, and that's the thing, you know.
Right.
It just, yeah.
It's about guiding you through a story. You know, the medium of video games is so wide. It has so much variety. Why do I have to punch, kick, slice, shoot something? Why can't I just be a passive observer? Why can't I watch a movie but interact with it at the same time and feel like I have agency in that? There's nothing derogatory about that. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as they're telling an engrossing story and your interactivity is enough to feel like you have a part in that or you have agency in that. And even that, I will say, is not in a necessity. I'm sure somebody has already done it without really having you interact with things to the extent that Edith Finch does. Because you interact with things. You really do. As I said, with the comic
Dear
book.
Esther. Dear Esther's one of those games.
I have not played that one.
You don't touch anything. You just walk.
And what was it called? Oh God! Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is another one.
Just walk.
It's just walking.
But
yeah, so that's another one where you have agency, but yeah, you're not really interacting too much. There's nothing wrong with that. I love a great story, no matter what, and this game tells a great story. So I felt like, if anything, the walking simulator perspective on it all just made perfect sense for this game. Now, as you can tell, we're getting impact category now. As you can tell with me, this game is stuck with me.
It has stuck. Yeah.
It is 100% stuck with me. It is one of, if not my favorite indie game of the generation. It's very high up there. I'm sure there's other ones that compete with it. Hollow Knight being a big one, for example, and I'm sure many others. But this is... Hollow Knight and this are in complete opposite ends of the spectrum. As I was just saying, Hollow Knight is all about just tight controls. Great tight controls, great exploration through a Metroidvania system. This one is entirely linear. You're just walking through a story. And this, if I were to compare it to anything as far as level of quality and impact, for me, it's up there with Gone Home. which
Yeah.
is another one that really stuck with me.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, this had a lot of impact for me, and I really am excited to see what Giant Sparrow does next.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I loved the music of it for sure. I remember that was one thing that stuck with me a lot. Was the music of the game for sure. Um, but yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know if I played it with such like a lot of things going on at once that it was one of those game break games to where I kind of played it and I was dealing with other things. The stories I knew kind of stuck with me. I just can't remember everything that kind of happened. Whereas like I remember everything that happened in Gone Home. Everyone's
Yeah,
gone to the Rapture and Dear Esther. This one was just more of a, it kind of is warped a little bit in my head. But I still loved it. Like I look at the game in my in my game collection, I'm like, I still remember very fond things about it.
yeah.
Maybe it's one of those games I need to go back and play again now that things have settled down in my life to where it's like
Anybody
I
that
can,
plays it now, my recommendation to you would be to try and play it in one playthrough. This is a 3 hour game. And
yeah.
if you can play it in one playthrough, I think you will soak it all in a little better than if you were to spread it out in like 3 1 hour playthroughs. It's almost like the length of a film. And with that, we
We're
have
at
to
the
give it our rating. Are you ready, Vince?
I'm ready.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
9.
9. Yeah, buddy.
I mean, it's still a great game. I mean, I know it was super influential when it came out, and I think it's still going to be talked about for quite a while. Uh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I knew when this game was presented on our Discord, I was like, yeah, when we get to this one, it's a 9 for me. It's no question about it. It's not perfect. It has its
No.
flaws. It has its slow points. Some stories are better than others as far as the family goes. But it's one of the most memorable experiences I've had in the generation.
Do you
So
remember?
I highly recommend it.
Do you know what the original title of the game was supposed to be called?
No, I don't.
The Nightmares of Edith
Really.
Finch. It was supposed to be a much darker game, and they
Hmm.
kind of backed off on that a little bit when they kind
Game
of
is dark
realized.
enough, man.
Yep.
Game is dark enough. One story is a little girl being locked in her room,
Yep.
and I'm trying to remember if she starves to death or I'm trying to remember. It's a very bizarre presentation of that one, and sometimes you have to kind of figure it out on your own, piece together it. But anyway, we've got to move on here because
We got to
we're
move
on
on.
our review roundup, as you can see on the screen. Star Wars Jedi
Jedi
Fallen
Fallen
Order is
Order.
the first one we're going to look at as far as reviews go. Let me start from the beginning here. There we go.
My bad.
And don't forget, get on our Discord at discord.gg/level up network. Go onto the How You Reviewin channel and submit games you would like for us to review on the show. Let's start with Jedi Fallen Order on the review roundup. Press Start gave it a 90. The game as a whole got an 83 on Metacritic and OpenCritic. Press Start gave it a 90, saying Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is the Star Wars game fans have been waiting for. Thank you so much, hip old guy. We're going to get to that in a second.
Great show.
Oh,
Thanks. You can call me hip.
Oh, I will call you hip. It brings together a strong story, addictive combat, and an earnest dedication for recreating the Star Wars magic to offer one of the best Star Wars games in over a decade. It's an experience that any Star Wars fan can't afford to miss. Vince, go ahead.
All right, from Destructoid, they gave it an 80. This is their quote: "You're going to occasionally roll your eyes at cheesy moments or groan at technical issues, but Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order stands alone as an action game devoid of its Star Wars influence. If you grant the mere mention of the phrase kyber crystals, you'll get even more out of it."
And on the lower end, we got US Gamer giving it a 7 out of 10, 70, saying Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order comes painfully close to being the best action game of the year, but it ultimately falls short due to pacing problems and a host of technical issues. Still, this is the first step into a larger world for a franchise that has persistently struggled since its acquisition by EA. I listened to Kind of Funny's discussion on this one, and I'm listening to a lot of podcasts now on my commute, and I listened to, I think, Giant Bomb's discussion on this game, and I'm getting hyped, man, hearing people
Yeah,
talk about this game.
hey, I have a copy of it purchased because I've heard some really great things from it, and it hasn't helped too that Dean's been hyping it up like crazy. So I've been
Mm-hmm.
like, shit, now I gotta get it because Dean seems to be in love with it. And
Mm.
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm glad that some of the stuff that we were worried about when we were talking around E3, a lot of that stuff seems to have disappeared.
Okay.
When we were talking about like combat and wonkiness and everything like that, that all those kind of negativity things that we saw from the first preview have kind of whimsed away and they've tightened it up a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, so here's why I was holding off earlier on how I'm going to play this game. Because with X019, as we're going to talk about later, having this amazing Game Pass deal also offering EA access, does it give me access to this game?
I don't. If it's EA Access Basic, no. It'll give you a
Okay.
10-hour trial. I think. I think you need to have Premiere to be able to play it ahead of time on PC. Like that's
It
what I'm
does
pretty
not.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I needed to make sure of. X1 Bros, thank you for filling me in there. I trust X1 Bros on anything X1
No, I
Xbox
mean
related.
it
So,
makes sense. Yeah. I just
okay.
think because EA Access is Premiere doesn't get it either. No, it's not on Access.
I thought
Okay.
that was just for spoiler reasons. They're not going
I
to add it at all?
I
That's
thought no,
weird.
I thought they just didn't get it early. Like Premiere people usually get it 3 days early. I thought they got just like an hour early.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I did not realize
Respawn
that.
withholds from EA Access.
Okay,
Interesting.
that's good
Very
to know.
interesting. Okay.
And with this title specifically, okay. Well, thank you.
And so that's going to be the case moving forward. Anything Respawn is not going to be a EA Access title. And it
That's
angered me. Yeah, I would be a little bit peeved at that. Mike says not true though. Wait, he says yeah, he has Premiere and has it.
weird.
Huh. I need some clarification.
You will
Tony's
get
got to
nothing,
fill me in
Vince. You will
here.
hate it and accept it. I don't know why Johnny's attacking me.
Well,
all
either
the
way,
time.
it sounds like EA Access Basic will not give it to me, so this Xbox Game Pass promotion won't help me with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I'm just going to have to buy the damn game myself. All right. Well, anyway, let's move on to another game, big game that released this week. Pokemon Sword and Shield has an 81 on Metacritic and OpenCritic. Digitally downloaded, gave it that perfect 10. They said the series needed that soft reset. And now Game Freak has the same outstanding basis and core to build on anew, just as it did back when Pokemon Blue and Red so effectively captured my imagination 21 years ago. Go ahead, Vince.
All right. IGN Spain gave it an 8.5. As a generational premiere, Pokemon Sword and Shield are at a high level. Its attempt to combine different audiences and demands is well received, although we expect much more from future games more revolutionary that would take advantage of the potential of a console like Nintendo Switch.
Okay. And finally, at the lower end of the spectrum, Game Revolution gave it a 7. If you're not sick of the formula, or if you're new to the franchise, then it's easy to forgive the meh story, subpar visual presentation, unchanged battle system, and messy multiplayer. It's a solid Pokemon game that anyone can enjoy. Nothing more, nothing less. That review comes off pretty harsh at the beginning, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. Like it doesn't come off as a 7 at first. It's like, oh,
It's almost like it's just trying to like brush over mess stories, subpar visuals, unchanged battle system, messy multiplayer. It's like those are all pretty big things.
harsh.
Yeah, I'm
Very
not sure
harsh.
we should just be like glossing over these things. But they gave it a 7 and said anybody can enjoy it. And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that for all its flaws, you will have a good time playing this game. It's just there's so much more they could have done with it. And hopefully will do with it on their next Switch title, or maybe we have to wait until the next Nintendo console. We'll have to see. But there's more they could have done here than what they did.
I
And
do
that
wanna
was my
make-
call from the beginning, from the moment it was revealed. You guys can
Yeah.
check out my reveal reaction. And I was like, this is what we've been waiting for as the console Pokemon game? Ugh, come on.
Yeah. However, I will say I talked a little bit to Mike about this, a little bit off chat sometimes. I just did talk about him a little bit. I was like, the negativity surrounding a lot of games that came out like the last couple months, actually, but like this and Death Stranding. I said some of the negativity that I've seen just from lazy developers, Game Freak doesn't know what they're doing anymore, this and that. It was just kind of like, it's like, guys, it's video games. Like,
Yeah.
it's not life or death. I mean, hold up. Like, I don't know. It's one of those disheartening things to see. I mean,
Yeah, you're 100% right. And that's the fan base. That's the community for
Yeah.
Pokemon. They're just so passionate. I'm not sure I would call them toxic. It's just they are really, really passionate. So
yeah.
it happens. Final
It
Fantasy,
does.
Kingdom Hearts, Pokemon, Star Wars. Star Wars, I would say, is toxic. But yeah, but
Yes.
you got a lot of passion there.
A lot
And
of
finally,
passion.
Shenmue 3, finally, after all these years, has released, and not to the best of reviews. 71 on Metacritic, 70 on OpenCritic. Hobby Consolas gave it an 8 out of 10. They said Shenmue 3 has some issues and is not a game for everyone, but if you enjoyed the two first games and you know what kind of game this is, it will satisfy you. As far as gameplay, setting, and plot are quite good and remain loyal to Dreamcast era. It was worth waiting 18 years. Now the question is, when will we be able to play Shenmue 4? And you'll see that happen a lot because this game clearly is setting up another one, from what I hear. But in the middle, what we got, Vince?
We have it from Gameblog. They gave it a 7. All the ingredients are there to make Shenmue 3 a great Shenmue game. Riveting story, copious side content, beautiful backgrounds, and great characters. But it's also a bit dragged down by its dated production values. Gamers who love the first two Shenmue games and who can overlook technical shortcomings will have a great time. Bring on Shenmue.
What? There it is again. Oh my God, another big tip coming in here. Once we get through this, we're acknowledging all these amazing tips. And finally, Cheat Code Central gave it a 6 out of 10. They said Shenmue 3 deserved something better. The developers should have found a way to meld what makes Shenmue distinctly Shenmue with bringing the game mechanics into 2019. I'm all for remasters of old games and keeping those same clunky mechanics with those old games, including the punishing difficulty. However, I want my sequels to old games to adapt and grow with the times. This is the divide you're going to see, and I am seeing, is a lot of people are like, hell yeah, don't change anything. I want to feel like I'm playing a Dreamcast game. And then others are like, I wanted Shenmue 3. You know? Yeah. Like, I didn't want Shenmue 2 again. Like, this, we're not in the Dreamcast era anymore. I wanted a PS4, Xbox One version of Shenmue. And that is not at all what they went for. And is that just the vision that they had? Or is it production, budget related? You know, this was a Kickstarter project. I think a little bit of both, honestly. Oh, sorry. Thank you,
Durock. Thank you, Durock.
You miss me and you know it.
Thank you, Durock. Thank you. I appreciate you. We hit our 30-minute after show. Woo! Very nice, which means we are now working towards our 60-minute after show. That's amazing. Let's update actually right now. Let me see if I got it here. After show. Let's update it to a 60-minute after show, and I'll have to go into the goal and set that as well after this segment here. Maybe I'll do it during commercial break. But thank you so much. Now we got 3. We've got Hip Old Guy with 1123, and I'm curious why 1123. Maybe you can fill us in on that, Hip. Dorothy Z Bornak. I don't know who you are or where you came from, but coming in with a $10 tip. Who are you? I love you. You're amazing. Dorothy, thank you so much for the $10 tippy. And then Durock, I hate you. 1666 Drew Barrymore scare tip coming in here. Just the worst. But Durock just continuing to come in with unbelievable support. Him and Trish both being producers of the show at tier 3 sub and then continuing on with the scare tips nonstop. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much to everybody supporting the show. You guys will get your wheel spins. Of course, it is the date. It is 11/23. Why don't I know these things? I don't keep track of the date anymore.
I know, right?
Who do you guys think I am? I don't keep track of the date. What was the vote there? I'm curious. Let me go back.
It was none of them. I don't.
None of them.
No one wanted to pick up anything.
Wow, I gotta say that's surprising.
I think it was spread out. I think there was some votes for Fallen Order. There was some votes for Sword and Shield. I don't think there's anything really for Shenmue 3, and there's the combo ones, and then but none of them.
But with 3 big releases, it surprises me that the majority would say none of them. I mean, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, everybody's playing that on my friends list right now. Like, everybody is playing this game. And that reflects what's been talked about this week. I don't know if you've seen it. Like, EA's come out and said that this game is doing really well for them. I saw Matt Piscatella, or whatever his name is, from NPD, saying that this is exceeding all expectations. It's doing really, really well, sales-wise.
I wonder why it's doing really well. Maybe if you put a competent developer with a competent vision and goal, and you actually don't meddle in their entire production. Look what happens.
Yep, right? And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if this game still was a little bit rushed. I bet you if Respawn had it their way, they would have had a little bit more time in the oven with this game. I'm just going to take a wild guess at that. And I think they could have had a 9+ game. It sounds like the game does have its technical issues. I heard it does have some polishing issues here and there. So I bet they could have tightened this game up even further. But considering what we were talking about last year when this game was revealed, and everybody's like, that game's not hitting the date. They did it, man. They hit the date, and they got an 8.5 out of 10 release in the Star Wars franchise, which right now is an amazing thing. Because people are really down on the franchise, especially when it comes to video games. So yes. This was the direction, the path they needed to go. This is the change in momentum that was needed for this franchise, and Respawn did it. I mean, come on, you got to give them credit. They haven't failed. They've delivered, man. Titanfall 2, now this one as well. And I think it's also really cool for what's his name? From originally Sony Santa Monica, worked on God of War 3 as the creative director. Stig Asmussen. Stig Asmussen, awesome. Really happy for that guy, man. He did a great job with God of War 3. He clearly, got the shit end of the stick on that new franchise they were working on for Sony Santa Monica. It was a sci-fi franchise. Didn't work out. Very ambitious. Just, it was very unfortunate. I don't. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have watched Raising Kratos, the documentary. They go into how much of a blow that was, how disappointing and depressing that was to let go of all those people. I recommend watching it, but it wasn't entirely their fault. It was just this kind of shit happens in the video game industry, and unfortunately, they were the ones to suffer the fallout of that. But I'm happy that he got on his feet and went to Respawn and was able to become a creative director on another seemingly great title in a franchise that I'm sure must have been really cool to work on. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to get to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in the very near future, and might happen sooner rather than later. I was going to wait a little bit to line it up with like Game Pass related things, but now that I know I can't do that, you guys might be seeing me playing Fallen Order in the near future. Outside of KOTOR, this is one of the best Star Wars I've played. Very nice. Too close to the holiday for me to be picking up any more games. Okay, I understand that. I get that. Seems like I'm going to have to play Fallen Order soon. Have to do the game share thing with Brittany. She got that $50 card. You guys are sharing. I see how it is. Yeah. Also, Hip Old Guy says that Dorothy Z. Bornak is from Golden Girls. He's showing his age here, intentionally so. I like it, Hip Old Guy. So that's 2 tips from you today. That's 2123 coming in from a brand new viewer, Hip Old Guy. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Hip. Really, really appreciate that. Well, actually, this is the time to show off our appreciation. Let's do some wheel spins. So we've got to start off with... we got some subs, too. We got a lot of stuff. Holy shit. Let's start off with Durak, Tier 3. We're going to switch over to the $25 wheel here. And we're going to do a dirty wheel spin for Durak. Oh, Dorothy Z. Bornak was not from Hip. Interesting. Now we got to find out who this is.
Who is this person?
Who are you? Who are you? We need to get the audio hook of Maz Kanata from Star Wars Force Awakens trailer saying, "Who are you?" That little, because that wasn't in the movie, I don't think. That actually was only in the trailer, if I remember right.
Only in the trailer, I believe. Yeah. You're right. I will say, I still think it's weird when I watch The Force Awakens and I hear Ewan McGregor's voice as Obi-Wan in that one sequence, and I'm like, why is he here?
Because Rey is obviously in a Kenobi, obviously.
A Kenobi.
Did you see that, actually? That J.J. Abrams said that Rey is preternaturally gifted and that it is not a mistake. There's a reason for it.
I did see that, and I was like, JJ, what are you talking about?
I sense a retcon. We'll see.
Wait, more. It's like, what's in the box, JJ?
Yeah. What's in the box? Another audio hook we need, actually, now that I think about it. Why don't we have a what's in the box audio hook? That's insane. Anyway, let's do some spins here. This one for Durak. Oh my goodness, Durak. Already VIP. We gotta spin again. He gets VIP all the time. Oh, we're doing some marbles for funsies today. How about we'll do that right after all these wheel spins. We'll pause the recording and we'll do some marbles for funsies. After that, let's do another tier 3 spin for Agent Vincent. You can eat my dirty asshole with a spoon because I fucking hate you. 50 XP to the entire room. Oh shit, did not mean to spin again. So let's do 40 and 10. There we go. And let's see. We got after that X1 Bros. We'll switch down to tier 1 here and give a spin to X1 Bros. This one's for you. And we've got 20 XP to the entire room. And then after that, we got Jose as well. and he's got 15 to the entire room. Speaking of, I will be modifying the XP system in the very near future because you guys are not going to be earning XP as quickly now, obviously, because I don't stream as much. So you will see changes in the cost of XP redemptions. However, before that happens, I will be removing the option to buy merchandise with XP. I will give you guys a clear date on when that's going to happen, just in case you do have the XP to buy merchandise. I will give you the time to be able to do that before I remove that redemption. All right. Did I give the 15 to the room?
Yes.
Did I do it? I did 20. I did not do 15. And 15 to the entire room. Way to go, room. Let's see. What else we got here? We got to do multiple spins. Lots of spins here. We got Hip up first with 2 spins, thanks to a $10 plus tip. 10 XP plus 10 XP, that's 20. We got 2 spins for Dorothy. So we're at 20 right now. 25. And another. 30. So that's up to 55 to the room now. And then we got 3 spins for Dirac. So we got 55 plus, do the math. 30, that's 85, plus 20, that's 105, plus 10, that's 115. 115 XP to the entire room. Way to go, room. Let's do 40, 40, and we'll end off with some 35.
Woot woot.
Woot woot. All right, I'm going to pause the recording for all you YouTube guys. Welcome back, level uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 284. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10. Oh God, I gotta remember to change this from now on. On every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Our new day and time, Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I will get the hang of that eventually. We got to come back to an awesome showing of support coming in from Freak OTRT, coming in with the 8 viewer raid. Thank you so much, Freak. How you doing today, man? How was your stream? Hope it went well. Everybody give some level up love to Freak. I'm going to give him another raid shout out in the chat here. Check out his channel at the least. See what he's got to offer. Give him that follow if you like what you see. What's going on with you, Freak? Tell us about your stream. Tell us what's going on here. We're talking about a lot tonight. We're going to be talking about X019 in just a moment, Google Stadia, and we're going to talk about Black Friday sales. We're going to talk about Game Awards nominees. Still a lot to come tonight. We got a stack show, and we even have after show. We're already at the 30-minute after show, and if we hit that $60 goal at the bottom of the screen, we're going to be doing a full hour after show tonight, focused entirely on the chat. Freak, there you go. Now you can see the stream. You might have missed what I said. I was just asking what you were playing tonight and how your stream went for you. Hope it went well. We got 39 people in the room now, which is amazing. We had a slow start on a new night on being Saturday, but we're gradually picking up, getting closer and closer to our normal numbers, almost in the 40s now. Keep sharing that show, everybody. You can type in ! Share in chat. You can type in ! Retweet. Both of those help out a lot. Bring in new people or bring in the old people that don't realize that we've changed nights. Any help is appreciated there. Prize wheel is active. Anything worth $5 or more will get you a spin of the prize wheel. We've already had a lot of support. We've got all the way up to a $50 prize wheel for marbles. That's a marbles dedicated wheel with a whole bunch of XP that can drop in chat courtesy of the marbles wheel. And then on top of that, as you guys know, we've got that goal at the bottom of the screen. We've already hit our daily tip goal, I just realized. Because we've lowered our daily goals. We've hit 2 of our goals, actually, tonight. We've hit our daily sub goal and our daily tip goal. So for that reason, before we even move on, let's go to the high points wheel. And let's do 2 spins of that for hitting our daily goals. Now that I only stream 2 days a week and I do shorter streams, I figured I would lower the daily goals. But you guys, you don't care. You're like, we're going to hit it. First up, we've got 35 plus 35. That's 70 XP to the entire room. Way to go, room. And way to go on hitting those daily goals. Appreciate it very much. All right. Let's see here. If we are ready, let's
do it.
Let's move on. Let's get into our topic of the week. I'm gonna bring in that TV here, and we're gonna get into X019. Let's do a little bit of a recap here of what happened, because a lot happened. This was a 2-hour show.
Big.
Yeah, a 2-hour show with a lot of game announcements, big and small. I think mostly like smaller indie stuff, but there was some bigger stuff in there as well. Let me see here. Where's my video around how you're reviewing still? Let's move forward here. Get a little bit of a 5-minute recap video going in the background. Let's start with, let's see. Obsidian is doing a smaller new IP called Grounded, and it's pretty much Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
Yes.
but survival base building mixed in with that. Now, I've seen two sides to this. I've seen a lot of people saying this looks great. I'm so excited to see Obsidian doing something different and new and outside their wheelhouse, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people saying that. And then the other ones are saying, why? Like, why is Obsidian wasting their time with something like this? Like, they just did Outer Worlds. I wanted another Outer Worlds type game. I want them to keep doing RPGs. Like, that's their bread and butter, and they're wasting their time with Grounded. What I would say to that is, I get it, but at the same time, like, this is a small team. Like, this is a very small team working on Grounded. And they've been working on it before the Microsoft acquisition. So this is just a little passion project for them.
And you need to flex creative muscles.
Yeah, let them do their thing.
To. Like, that's one thing that we saw too much now. We've seen so much stagnation because we haven't let developers tackle the things they want to tackle. Go for it, Obsidian. I'm rooting for you.
I'm with you. I will admit, doesn't at all look like my kind of game. It's just not my thing. But I think it's great. I think it's great that Outer Worlds just came out and we're finding out about a small little pet project they had going on the side. I think it's pretty cool that happened. Let's talk about xCloud a little bit here. Project xCloud is coming to Windows 10 PCs and new markets. It will supposedly have exclusives as well someday. Quote here from somebody at Xbox saying, in terms of Project xCloud exclusives, we're in early talks with first and third parties, but we don't have any announcements to share. New content and IP takes 18 months to 2 years to develop. What do you think this means exactly, Vince?
I'm torn a little bit on it. Here's what my true gut feeling is on it is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, as an example, even though this isn't a true thing, like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or I guess I would say Far Cry. Far Cry is now exclusive to Project xCloud for cloud streaming.
Yeah.
That's what I see that as. I don't see this as State of Decay 3 is a xCloud streaming only title.
That's the concern.
I don't see
And if it happens, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they would ever do that. That seems like a really bad move, especially considering the message they've been sending us for years now over at Xbox. Play anywhere. You know, it just, that's like the exact opposite of that. To an extent, I get that it also falls in line with that as well, in a way, if you have xCloud, because you can play it anywhere through xCloud, but you're going to force people to get xCloud, and that's going to piss some people off if State of Decay 3 is exclusive to xCloud. So I really don't think they're going to do that.
Right. The only other thing I could think of too would be State of Decay 3 is a Project Scarlet and whatever Xbox game. However, there is an xCloud version that can feature more technology or more emerging, like more things because it's based in the cloud. Like, you know, the Crackdown 3's destructive multiplayer. If you have something that's more built in tune that way, it's only spec'd for that, that could be something that they could also be working about too.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Let's see here. After that, and we'll talk more about xCloud in a moment, but after that, Rare announces its next new IP, Everwild.
Which
it is getting a lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild, and I think that really just comes down to the artistic direction, like the bright, cel-shaded nature. Personally, I didn't think of Breath of the Wild in any way outside of that myself.
No, it was only whenever I saw the character model when I was like, oh, it's kind of like that. But everything else, I was like, this is a typical, it looks like Sea of Thieves, but not Sea. Yeah. You know,
it's almost humorous to see like this sort of turnaround within Microsoft of them going from being like the shooter guys with like the gritty gray color palettes all the time, and now they're like just nothing but colorful, childish looking titles that have the Fortnite aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, real turnaround there
Real
from
turnaround.
Xbox. Let's talk about Game Pass. So we talked about it a little bit earlier with a great offer they're having, but 50 games were revealed at Inside Xbox as coming to Game Pass. Starting November 14th, you get 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for just $1. You heard me right there, and I'm not being like yeah, you got that right. 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $1.
$1. Hey, guess
Like,
what?
give like
Phil,
5 seconds to set in here.
Phil
Like,
said
that's
they're making money.
ridiculous.
Phil said they're making money off of it. So whatever floats your boat, guys.
Let me put this in perspective for you a little bit. This also comes with EA Access. This also comes with Discord Nitro. If you're a Discord Nitro member, as I am, you also get another 3 months on top of that. So I have 6 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $1. I don't have to purchase a damn thing from Xbox for the next 6 months for more than $1.07.
Hey, man. That's what they want. So
No, that is not what they want, Vince, because I can guarantee you I am canceling Game Pass the day before that 6 months ends. And I totally took advantage of them.
hey, Phil said they're making money off of it. So I don't know.
It's not up to us to really care about that, really. Like we just can be consumers appreciating it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But if you are somebody that wants to analyze that side of things, I still say, like, what is going on here? Like, when does the shoe drop, the other shoe drop, and when does all this get taken away and we see what Game Pass actually is, and they hope that all these people they wrangled in at $1 stick around? Like, when does that happen? Because, I mean, in all honesty, like, this is them extending that so much further by doing this. Like, they were giving 1 month, right, of Game Pass for $1 and things like that. Now they're giving 3 months. And if you're Discord, you get another 3 months. I'm getting 6 months out of this if I time it right. On top of that, I got EA Access. They've got Spotify Premium on top of that. Oh, and let's talk about the games they're adding as well. Because this is the thing. They've got all the Final Fantasy games coming to this pretty much now. They got all the Kingdom Hearts games. They got Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1 and 2. They are paying for these games to come to Game Pass.
They are.
That you can guarantee that. It's not being said, but I guarantee you. They are paying Square Enix a lot of money to get all the Final Fantasy games, all the Kingdom Hearts games on Game Pass. But you're not seeing any of that money. It's not being reflected in your subscription fee whatsoever. If anything, your $45 that you should be paying quarterly for Game Pass is being deducted down to $1 again. Like, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. Like, you guys need to, like, think about how insane this is right now. The deal that you're getting is insane. So take advantage of it. Who knows how much longer this is going to last, but take advantage of it. Have fun with it. Because there's no way it continues this way much longer. It just can't. It can't.
For sure not. But you know what? I gotta give it to them. They're kicking that ball hard, and they're kind of setting a fire on everyone's asses, to be honest with it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, yes, kind of. I don't think PlayStation is going to respond, honestly.
Oh, Sony's not going to bite. Are you kidding me?
I don't think they're going to bite. No.
They're not going to bite. They're sitting there just going, okay.
Do your thing. Yeah.
Do your thing. Okay. Well,
if it does start to affect us, we'll respond accordingly, but it's not right now, and probably won't see that kind of thing until next generation, so they're just going to keep waiting. Yeah. We're up in the Stadia thing up on screen right now, so we're still going through Xbox. Let's rewind a little bit here.
Yeah, it's all good.
Going back here to the Xbox stuff. We're going super slow tonight. Taking our sweet time. New Bleeding Edge trailer. What'd you think, Vince?
I liked it. As I've watched more and more of it, I've gotten more and more interested in that game. That's where I'm like, all right, Ninja Theory, I'm down. I
really, really think it looks slick. And the animation is amazing. Character designs, I think, are a little edgy. I get it. Bleeding Edge, I get it. It's edgy. But a little much for me. That being said, I want it to do well. I love those guys. So I want them to do well, even though they're over on the Xbox team now, and I can't really play their stuff outside of PC, which eventually might bite me. But yeah, I want those guys to do great, and not the type of game I wanted them to do, but if it means that their next Hellblade type game gets funded, yes, or gets supported by Xbox, yes, that's what I want to see. X1 Bro said, played this at E3. My favorite game of the Microsoft show. Great surprise. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, no,
what would you compare it to, X1 Bros? Again, a lot of Overwatch, but Melee comparisons. Like, is that really what you would say it is? If you had to break it down to the most simplistic of terms, is it Melee Overwatch? Curious. Don't Nod has revealed a game they're making as published by Microsoft Game Studios. Don't Nod revealing Tell Me Why. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. Okay. What'd you think, Vince?
I liked it. Again, it was one of those a little Life of Strangey, I guess.
Of course, that's Don't Nod.
But I'm down, especially with on Game Pass. I'm down.
The first major character performance for a transsexual character, yes. Like a focal character, I should say. It's not some side character that's a transsexual character in the game. This is one of the main characters. It's twins, and then one of them is transsexual. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they straddle that line, I guess you would say, because they're playing with fire here. Let's be honest.
They're playing with fire, and anyone who wants to come at them with that for that reason, they can come fight me behind that, because we need representation.
Yes, you need representation here. It's just and no matter what, that's what's good about this.
Yep.
But they're going to be under a microscope.
Yep.
Because of this. And the transsexual community is going to play this game, a lot of them, just for the mere fact that it has representation. So they're going to be looking at every detail, and they're going to rightfully so, let us and let Don't Nod know this is what you did wrong, this is what you did right. It's going to be interesting. Now, I think the gist is that you actually see two perspectives, the twins' perspectives, as to what happens in these story scenarios, and you have to choose which one is true and which one is false. I think.
Yes, I think you're right on the money on that one. Yeah, it's a like almost perspective game in a way.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
They're very interesting.
Age of Empires 4 got a new gameplay trailer. Not something I really care about, but I know, like, for instance, Mike is so excited for this. You are another one, Vince?
Mike's got terrible taste in games. It's going to be trash. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Nah, I'm excited for it. I just was hoping he was here so he could
tell me how you really feel.
Nah, I'm actually really excited for it. I like it.
A lot of people that on like the forums that I frequent, etc. and whatnot, are not really like talking about this game. But if you look at the optics, if you look at the stats on like views for this trailer, I think it's like one of the best things that came out of
yes.
Let me pause here again. We're right past the Stadia stuff. We're just flying through these videos and not moving when it comes to the agenda right now.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, the stats on this, the stits and the stats, show that it's a very desired game.
Yes, it is. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to play it.
And Wasteland 3 got a date of May 2020. So, yeah, it's not that game I could not care less about. Holy shit, could I not care less about that game? But yeah, got a date on that one in my birth month. So, yeah, lots of good stuff happened during X019. And now is finally the time to talk about Stadia, and considering X019, revealing more about xCloud, we're gonna do a little battle here. We're gonna compare and contrast and see what's gonna be the leader in the next few years. Let's talk about some Stadia impressions first, since it did come out this week in I would consider to be a beta.
I was gonna say thanks to Hip Old Guy for giving a gifted sub there.
To Minstrel Pangolin. Look at this guy, Hip Old Guy, man.
Coming in here, man. Who are you?
He's nonstop right now.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Stadia here.
Schreier said, quote, Google Stadia is out today, and it already looks like a monumental flop. I heard from one person involved that pre-orders were below expectations. Question is, will they eventually stop trying to sell games and switch to an all-you-can-eat subscription model, or just let it die? Patrick Klepek said, I spent a week with Google Stadia. At times, a disaster. At times, a revelation. For now, you should stay away. Another verified user on Twitter said, I've been playing Destiny on Google Stadia all weekend, and there's a lot to like about it. Stadia also feels like a beta right now, and the quality to PC isn't great. It's the best game streaming yet, but more to do. Andrea Renee, with one of the more positive impressions I've seen, said, so far, it has glimpses of absolute magic surrounded by wild inconsistencies in performance. This week's launch is truly early access for the platform, but I can see how it could become revolutionary. Jeff Gerstmann of Giant Bomb said, quote, been continuing to try out Stadia stuff now that some more people are getting it. Matchmaking times still seem way too long in Destiny. Some hoppers still just never fill up. Got into a math of Rumble, and my aim started jerking all over the place, randomly aiming at the ceiling. The game felt noticeably worse, and now I'm wondering if that's why some people still haven't gotten codes. Surely Google, of all companies, can't be having bandwidth capacity issues, right? Right?
Right.
Right.
And then this is the big kicker.
And this is straight from a Stadia release statement. On day one, PC Chrome gameplay won't support 4K, HDR, or 5.1 surround sound. Those features will be added in 2020 for PC players. This thing is in beta. Like,
this should have been called Stadia Preview.
Yes.
This is what this should have called.
If anything, it probably shouldn't have even released. Like, why not just hold it off till next year? What do you think? Why release it this year? Are they afraid of next gen?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. All the rumors of next gen, we're already hearing about consoles that are more powerful than what their hardware is. Like, that's where I'm like, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, what are you guys doing with this right now? Like, I don't know. With some of the performance metrics that we talked about a little bit about in Discord, it's been mostly Farsendor and I, but like, for example, Destiny 2 is rendered at 1080p at medium PC settings. If you even are trying to output it at 4K, your 4K signal is a upscaled 1080p image. Here's the thing. It's the hardware that's behind that, the servers there, that Google was there at Bungie for 6 months, is the hardware that's behind that should easily be able to run that at 4K around 60 frames. And it's actually 120 frames. It's what's supposed to be, I'm pretty sure. And the fact that it's doing 1080p, Red Dead Redemption 2 is, I think it was being talked about, it was 1080p. I think it is now confirmed to be 1440p at a variable frame rate that doesn't kick in quite all the way based on your bandwidth. The game can go from 30 frames to 60 frames down to 45 frames. And again, the Xbox One X, a system with half of the system resources of this thing, can play that game at 4K, 30 frames. The PC settings are, again, equivalent to a medium settings. I was just like, you want to talk about first impression, guys? Boy, you freaking blew it on the actual game quality of that. Now, the latency, the one thing, the input lag, I've heard very many things about the differences there that they've talked about. Some people have said like the input latency behind stuff is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
And there's been other Twitter videos and everything like that, where it's like, I press spacebar to jump, and then 3.5 seconds later his character jumps. Like, it's like,
but here's the thing, did you see Digital Foundry's analysis of the latency numbers?
I did, and
they're not any different from PS Now.
They're not a single thing.
Like, I thought this was supposed to be like the evolution of game streaming. Like, I get that PlayStation Now isn't doing the same resolution, but like, latency is everything, really. That is good. Like, well, I should say is like the big concern when it comes to game streaming. I say bigger than anything else. I would say it's the latency, because that's what's going to break the game. Visual stuff you can get past if you have to.
Right.
But if the game isn't responding accordingly, or there's too much latency, that is breaking it. So that is what's most important. And right now, it's not really any better than the opposition.
Nope. And that's the thing is I played PlayStation Now. I played PlayStation Now from its early beta programs all the way to where I've even occasionally sometimes just sub for a month, play something I haven't played for a while, or like I want to try something out. I played Red Dead Redemption 1 via cloud streaming via 720p on a 4K monitor, right? Now let me
Right.
tell you what. The image quality,
Tell me what.
oh god, was not that great. Let me tell you something. It was not great. But it felt like I was playing a PS3 game. Like my latency behind that was like, okay, okay, this feels right. I can play Sonic. I played Sonic Generations on it, and I was like, Sonic is fast, and I can do the platforming just fine. If I would have probably broken it down a little bit more, it's like, yeah, maybe I can tell there's a slight input lag.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah. And so for this, I don't know, for this to be not the greatest of launch, considering all of the stupid PR talk they had behind it. I'm sorry. I think it's done so much damage to what they had here. Whereas
Right, and the fact that it is a troublesome launch is just furthering the concern that they're not going to commit to it.
Nope.
Right? Because that is legitimate concern.
That is a legitimate concern.
Google has shown in the past they have a history of this. They give up, they let things die, or they kill things. Just outright kill things. So yeah, this is just furthering that concern. And if you want, maybe you could call it concern trolling, but I don't think it is. I think there's legitimate reason to be a little concerned that they might give up on this thing. And I agree with X1 Bros to an extent, like that they were trying to carve out their space ahead of time here.
Yeah.
And I think the issue though there is like it feels like just wanting to be a part of the space at the chance of it being a success. Right? It's like they were just kind of like testing, like if it takes off, like great, tons of money. If it doesn't, we'll let it die. Like, you know, like kind of what it feels like to me.
They've entered the water park and they've decided to go to the lazy river first.
Yeah,
That essentially is what's gone into that.
They aren't really going for it.
Right.
They're just like dipping their toe in, and like I guess that's okay. But if you're gonna do that, you better like make sure your messaging supports that, and that it doesn't.
No.
Like you can't like a day before release be like, oh, by the way, on day one, PC Chrome gameplay is not going to have the 4K, the HDR, the 5.1 surround sound. By the way, like that should have been months ago that we knew that. You can't tell us this thing is essentially in early access the day before it releases.
And like the other thing too that I also want to say, and this is one thing that I feared, and I hate saying this because I don't like to be conspiracy theorist. I hate doing this. But like a lot of the other things too that I think was some of the people saying, well, I have perfect image quality on this, you know, it's fine. I was like, yay, congratulations. Google's making sure you're having a great experience right now. Whereas like the Giant Bomb guys, they've had like the worst trouble out of everyone. They've just it's
either that or it's Giant Bomb being Giant Bomb. Let's be honest. Those guys are as jaded as they come.
They are.
So I find that they have no issues just sort of dwelling in the negativity and just absorbing it.
Not dwelling. They soak in it. They swim in it.
They like it. They like it in there in the negativity. Yeah, here's the thing is they might be the ones that are being completely honest about this thing and not sugarcoating it at all. That's what you can rely on Giant Bomb for. Maybe to a fault, but yeah, those guys definitely have been outspoken about their issues with it, and maybe they're having, for whatever reason, more problems than others are. But that's the thing is, when it comes to game streaming, there is
the roulette. That's the roulette.
That's it. Yeah, it's entirely dependent on your setup. There's no consistency there. It's not like a console. You know, that's what's great about a console. Plug that damn thing in, put the disc in, download the digital download, plays the same for everybody. That's what I love about consoles. Even in comparison to PCs, I get it. PC has the best if you can get it working the right way. But what's great about consoles is the simplicity of it. But this is even worse than PC gaming to an extent, because you might just have a day where your internet is being funky, you know, like it doesn't even, you could have a great setup, Verizon 150 up, 150 down. You could have gigabit connection, but it doesn't mean it's always going to be working correctly. And this version of gaming is entirely dependent on your connection. So this is, you can't play. You literally can't play if it's not working correctly, your connection. And there's just so many parts of the United States and so many parts of the world that are going to have issues with this. 100 megabit or byte? Do you know, Vince, per minute?
100 megabytes.
Bytes. 100 megabytes per minute.
It's a gig every what was the math? I did the math on it. Yeah, megabyte.
That's all you need to say, really. 100 megabytes per minute. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what kind of data plan you have, but
it's a gig. It's a gig every 10 minutes.
Like, you're going to be going through your data plan, a lot of you, in a day.
Well, and I think the biggest thing that killed me, I killed it. Well, I didn't kill it. I killed Stadia, guys. Everyone, I just went to Google and just killed it. Sorry.
Do it.
No. I think the biggest thing for me was when I saw the game prices finally leaked out, and I was like, it was the thing that I feared. I called it back whenever we talked about it, all the way when they announced it. I remember Dean was with me on it because I was like, this is going to be bullshit. And I'm going to call it right now. But when they finally leaked the prices out and they're like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, $60, I was like, no. Like, I'm not paying $60 for a streaming version of a game only. I'm sorry. It's like, you need to have a discount on that. And if you have Pro, yeah, great. Congratulations. It's going to be $30.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, but your Ultimate Edition for it is still $119. Like, no.
It doesn't make sense.
Nope.
The Jaffe stream in the chat, maybe David Jaffe, says, yeah, but you've got Google, Sony, Microsoft, and Amazon all chasing after this. Do you think they are not doing this with the future in mind? They don't expect this to be major now, but in 2 to 4 years, makes sense to get in on the ground floor. I would say the ones that got in on the ground floor were PlayStation.
Yeah.
If anybody got in on the ground floor, it was PlayStation. And I think a lot of people just aren't thinking of that, and that's PlayStation's fault. To an extent, they didn't really promote now in the way they should have, and now it's almost like a Demon Soul type scenario, right? Where it's I get it to an extent, like they were testing the waters, but they didn't see far enough into the future to realize how much they should have maybe been promoting or investing it, or maybe they just started too late, and it allowed Microsoft to have that opportunity to really control hearts and minds. With Game Pass, because everybody's talking about Game Pass right now, and to an extent it's because of the amazing deals, like the $1 for 3 months. All right, right? $1 for 3 months. Did I get that right? Is that it? You have to, every time I say it, I'm like, is this right? $1 for 3 months? Yes, it is. Like, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people are just talking about it because these deals are absolutely insane. But Sony has the opportunity next generation to do something similar and do something crazy and reinvent PlayStation Now, and I hope they do. And you're right. Amazon is also rumored right now to be getting in on this. Is this true? Amazon rumored to be getting in on game streaming? Did you see this, Vince?
I did see that, and I did think that was, yeah.
Okay, and it is Dave. I see Kratos on the shelf. Nice. Yeah. So virtual shelf. But yeah, we do have the Kratos statue over there. I wish I had a Kratos statue in reality. I don't. No, I don't. I do not have a Kratos statue in reality. I'll have to rectify that, Dave. But it's awesome to have you in the chat. David Jaffe, guys.
That's awesome.
I mean, come on now. Creator of God of War, right? Or at least one of the creators. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I know the creative director on the first God of War. So that's pretty amazing to have David Jaffe in chat right now. Good to have you, Dave. Thanks for being here. Let's see here. Hold on a sec. What did I miss in chat? What else?
I think they were talking about megabyte, megabit, stuff like that, and then just PS Now and State. Go ahead.
I was going to say to David, are you utilizing any like Stadia, Xbox, xCloud? Also, Hip, old guy, I'm sorry. I said earlier I was going to go to you on that. Hip, let me know what you think of xCloud right now. How are people thinking about this? Because a lot of games on there. A lot of games on xCloud, and it is the all-you-can-eat. delivery method. And meanwhile, on Stadia, I don't have it in front of me, but it's you're buying your games digitally on it, and some of these prices are I think like asinine. Do you agree, Vince? Like some of these Tomb Raiders are still $60 on there, right?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like what? Like why would anybody? I'm sorry, I might sound a little bit arrogant here, but like why would anybody buy a game on Stadia for $60?
That's my thing I don't get. Like, it's one thing whenever, like, you're buying, said, a digital copy that you're downloading to your hard drive, or it's another thing to where you're buying a disc copy to where you're holding it on a shelf, bookcase, whatever. It's just, on top of that, if you want to pay the 4K thing, which isn't working about it, it's just, I don't quite get charging full retail on it. And that maybe they couldn't get any publisher movement on that. Maybe Google wanted to do that and they just didn't want to eat too much of the cost there. And maybe we'll see that happen as if the service gets more popularity, in the sense of like, people are subbing to the pro only tier, but they're not buying games. They're only just playing the games that come with that subscription. But I don't know. I really honestly, I wouldn't spend money on that. And I'm one of the more, I want to say, liberal when it comes to, I buy mostly digital. I'll buy the occasional physical. The one thing I haven't moved on from that is buying movies digitally. I don't quite like it. I do love my Blu-rays, just from an audio and video quality standpoint. Even though streaming has gotten close to that, it's still not quite to the level that I feel comfortable switching over yet for most things other than animated shows. But gaming, it's just like, what happens if that publisher goes, okay, bye. We've seen it happen before with digital titles. Like we can't download certain games now because licensings have expired or a publisher has taken off the store and you don't have it. That's always been the biggest thing there,
Yeah. Here's the thing. Let's go back to the battle, I guess you could say, between xCloud and Stadia. This was, again, the timing here. This really couldn't have been a worse time for Stadia to launch in a problematic sense, because xCloud being announced to be joined up with Game Pass at some point in the future. And I would, what do you think? It's not going to raise the cost. Well, it's going to bring the cost to what it's supposed to be. It's not going to be $1 for 3 months. It'll be whatever the cost of Game Pass is, and I'm sure they'll just integrate xCloud into it in the same way that PS Now is both streaming and game downloads. So when you look at xCloud and the amount that it's offering and the sort of all-you-can-eat delivery method, and then you look at Stadia, it's like, come on now. Like it makes Stadia look so half-assed, if not quarter-assed, in comparison to for me. It's like this is what I'm talking about. These are the big boys, Google. Like this is what they do. Like this is Microsoft, this is PlayStation. Like you gotta try harder if you're gonna compete with these guys. And go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's the crazy thing is that Google has YouTube. They should understand the amount of traffic and the amount of things they're gonna be able to do if you're able to just sit there and just have content there. And especially if you lower the cost of entry there, like if you don't need $60 to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Destiny 2 or anything like that, and if you're just able to pay, the $14.99 a month, it should probably be instead of $9.99 a month for the 4K option.
Yeah.
If you have that cost of entry, but then that's all it is, and then you have all this, you have all this accessibility for all these games for everyone to play. That's like the pipe dream there. Like that's what you get. That's how you get people is you make it. That's what Game Pass is. Why Game Pass is so successful is because they're allowing so many people to play so many games for one low cost.
And here's the thing. What's frustrating about it is Google has the capability to do all this.
Right.
They're a monster. Obviously, they're just as big. I don't know the exact numbers here, but they've got to be in a similar echelon, right? So they could be putting their all into this, and I get they don't want to invest too much too quickly and have it fall apart on them. But yeah, they gotta try harder. Do you think that they do eventually adopt the all-you-can-eat subscription model,
or
do you think they stick with what they're doing?
I think they will.
I think they will as well.
Don't think the path that they're trying to do right now will not give them success in the way they think it's going to be. I could see that. I could see buying the Stadia exclusives, you know, as in like if they're priced correctly, like Guilt I think is like $30. It's still a little too expensive for me.
It looks
for a
pretty cool.
It's still a little too expensive for me from a streaming standpoint. Like thing, if it was $15, okay, that's fine. That's an access. That's an access title code. You know, that's the thing. It's like that's what you got to realize is your product may be a great game and you might value it that, but for a lot of consumers, we're going to see that as more of like that's a digital title that I can rent for a indefinite period of time until you pull it off the servers. You know, that's where a lot of people are going to view streaming as.
Going back to what Dave said in the chat here, I adore Game Pass. I love sub services. Cloud streaming is very exciting to me, but until they solve the data cap issue, it seems a non-starter. But once that is worked out, the whole thing changes. Subservice with streaming drops the barrier of entry to almost nothing for games, and the amount of players will increase in a big way. Yes, yeah, you're 100% right on the second point there, and that's what's exciting. It's just we're not there yet, right? And I get you have to like start before we're there, but yeah, I can't get that excited about this right now. Because it's just so far away from being accessible to the world, and it's accessible to me. I mean, my upload download speeds are plenty high enough for me to utilize this in a pretty great way. I just don't see the point for me. I'm not the customer. I'm not the target, because I have my screen right here. I've got my computer. I play everything here. I'm out on the road. Like, why would I not play my games natively? Unless they had a really good price. Unless they had a really great price with an all-you-can-eat subscription model that I couldn't pass up, that like what Microsoft is doing. But the difference is I can download those games. They've got the option to download. So is that an option with Stadia? Or is it only streaming? It's only streaming, right?
It's only
streaming.
Only streaming.
Because they don't have a console. They don't have anything for you to download to.
No,
so
that's the only other thing I could think they could maybe potentially do within a year or so. I mean, that could also be the hardware could be folded into a Chromecast Stadia. That could be a thing that they try to do that they want to walk away a little bit from streaming and do more of the traditional downloads, but then twist it upon its head.
Yeah.
They could do that. I mean, that's the thing is that Google has the ability to completely do that considering their hardware. But yeah, it's just streaming. And again, that's it. Not to harp on the point again. That's why the pricing of the games is so rough for me.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, Voodoo.
Like the value isn't there.
It's like, yeah, it's not like Voodoo or like that would be like the same thing as Netflix saying, okay, if you want to watch BoJack Horseman on Netflix now, you know, yeah, you can sub to it, you can get that, you know, that's great. But if you want to watch the 4K version of that, well, you need to pay, you know, $25.
Yeah.
Like 1% is probably going to actually do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Well, I'm just seeing a lot of people right now to close this up. I'm just seeing a lot of people saying, after seeing xCloud at Game Pass and the plan for the future, it's just, I have no interest right now in Stadia. So they're going to have to reassess the situation and figure out how to get people back on board. Because right now, xCloud, which is not even a player in a major capacity because it's in a small sort of beta, right? It's not near as wide as what Stadia's doing. Even still, the amount of people saying like, yeah, xCloud over Stadia right now is showing a dismal future for Stadia, and a scary future as well because of the history, as we said, that Google has in giving up its support on something. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Moving on. We got to move on here. That was our topic of the week. Let's get into our weekly discussion of the week's biggest gaming industry news, everybody. We're going to get into the level update. Wait for it. And starting off, we got a big one here. Let's go through the Game Awards nominees. So I want to play a game with you here, Vince.
Oh God. I don't like games.
I want to do some bets with you. Cool with that?
Oh, I hate bets, but
Really?
yeah, we can go for it. There's two things I think we've learned with me being
Yep.
on here. A, I can't predict sales. B, I can't predict Metacritic scores. So I don't think I can predict really great things at the Game Awards, but we'll try.
So here's what I want to do. For every single category, all 22 of them, I want us to say what we think will win. Not what we want to win. What we think will win.
Okay.
Whoever gets the most number right after the Game Awards wins the bet.
Okay.
So now the stakes.
Oh God.
I'm open here. What I was thinking is for you, if you lose, I want you to write one paragraph. A paragraph. Could be a relatively long paragraph, whatever you need, detailing every reason that Death Stranding is a failure. Got to really search your soul here. I know that you like the game a lot, but every problem the game has, I need you to detail that for me. I need you to tell me why I shouldn't buy Death Stranding if I'm on the fence.
Okay.
Okay? That's if you lose.
Okay.
And you can come up with one for me. You don't have to do it right this moment.
Yes.
But if I lose, you can also come up with one. You cool with this?
I'm cool with it.
Okay. I'll mark it up on the outline which we're going for. We're going to start off with the big one here. Let's start off with Game of the Year. We got 6 nominees this year. Control. Nominated for Game of the Year. And by the way, second most nominated game of the Game Awards.
Yep.
Number 1 most nominated game of the Game Awards is our second game nominated for Game of the Year, and it is Death Stranding. Number 3, we got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which for some, like, when did that come out? December or something?
Came out December of last year.
So it still counts.
It still counts.
Resident Evil 2 Remake, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, one of the ones very high up for me, and The Outer Worlds is the number 6. All right, Vince, I'll let you go first. What wins?
Smash Bros. Ultimate.
You think Smash Bros. Ultimate wins?
It's going to. I know it's going to, and it's going to fucking piss me off for sure. It's going to make me so angry because that's what's going to happen.
Okay. I honestly don't think so. I don't think so.
I just have a feeling.
Yeah, really?
Yep.
For me, you know how I was before the Game Awards nominees were announced, I was like, I don't think Death Stranding will win. I knew it would be nominated for Game of the Year, but I didn't think it would win. But now that it has like 11 nominations, it clearly shows me that the panel they had choosing nominees likes Death Stranding. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
It was all dependent on the people they put together in choosing the nominees. Which, by the way, Jeff Keighley wasn't one of them.
Yes.
So for that reason, I feel like for it to be nominated for all these different things, they've got to have a majority of really, really liking this game. Hip, old guy, good night. Thank you so much for coming in tonight with unbelievable support. Glad that you were gifted a sub by 9Fox. You 100% deserve that. You came in with so much support tonight. So I hope to see you again, Hip.
Yes. Good night, Hitman. Old guy. Sorry, not Hitman.
Hitman. I like that too, though. Please come back. Hope to see you again in the near future. I am going to. I'm between Sekiro actually and Death Stranding. And I think Sekiro probably is for a lot of people not one they're thinking, but I think most people are probably thinking Resident Evil 2 Remake actually. But as we've talked about, horror games historically don't win Game of the Year.
And
right?
Sekiro, yeah, you're right. Horror games, it's a hill for it to climb with it being a horror game. The other thing I was going to say was Sekiro. The other thing that's got the hill for that is it is niche still. It is a Souls game. The other thing too is I'm also thinking Elden Ring's going to be From Software's big moment. That's truly what
I think we see Elden Ring. Yeah, we're going to talk about that after we get through the Game Award. This is going to be a freaking long show tonight. I just realized how long the show is going to be. This is going to be a long ass show tonight. But let me put a poll in the chat here, guys. What do you think will win? Not what you want to win. What do you think will win in the chat? So I'm right now torn between Sekiro and Death Stranding. And I think we're going to see a lot of people very upset because I do think Death Stranding is going to win.
I mean, I'll be extremely happy if it does. I'll be, because the game deserves it, in my opinion. if you really want to know the two games I'm actually really kind of rooting for internally, it's Control and Death Stranding.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say Control.
It's those two, because those two are by far the most unique games that have come out of the year in the AAA environment for me.
Sekiro did not get the best reviews. Best reviews are actually Resident Evil 2 Remake, if I remember correctly.
That is the correct. Resident Evil 2 is the critical darling out of those, I believe, with Control actually being the lowest one out of them all. Control is like an 80, I think.
Right now, I want Death Stranding to win, even if I don't think it's the best, because it's going to cause such a shitstorm if it wins.
I know. That's also
and I'm going to love it. I'm going to absolutely love it. Moving on from that, let's get the best game direction. Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Outer Wilds.
Death Stranding.
I think I agree with you there.
I can't. I'm sorry. It's Death Stranding. There's nothing else there.
Oh my god, look at all these subs coming in right now. Tier 3 producer
sub. To this since last Thursday.
Yes, Baz, welcome back. We also got Turtle Power coming in there with the Prime sub. You guys rock. I'm with you. I think Death Stranding is getting that one. Best narrative. Plague Tale, Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, or The Outer Worlds. This is one of the only ones Disco Elysium is nominated for, so I kind of want it to win this one, and I've heard such great things about the narrative. I'm going to vote for Disco Elysium.
Okay. I don't know, to be honest, for me, because all of these are good. It's a toss-up. I kind of see Death Stranding winning this one as well.
Yeah. Narrative is a little bit polarizing for Kojima. You know, he's a very love or hate when it comes to...
Because I don't see Control taking it because
I don't think so.
It's not...
Outer Worlds are out. Control, I think, is out. Plague Tale, I think, has a chance.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I think it's between the two that are battling head-to-head here, Death Stranding and Disco, with Plague Tale being the complete underdog. But I do think Death will take this one.
Okay.
Death Stranding will take this.
My God. Sweeping so far. Death Stranding, potentially. Best art direction. We've got Control, Death Stranding, Gris, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, or The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Now, this is art direction. Very important to keep... Don't confuse that with technical. Art direction.
Right. It's hard because...
Sekiro is amazing in this regard, in my opinion. Gris as well is
Control's
amazing.
Out.
Control, I think, is out, yeah.
Control's out from there. Legends
I think Death Stranding, honestly, is out, too. Here. I don't think art direction is Death Stranding's strongest point.
I disagree a little bit.
It's like, I don't know. I don't... Like, the way that world is impressive is technically... I don't know. I don't think artistically that world is that impressive.
I think it comes down to more of the... It's not even a tech standpoint. It comes down literally from how the character models and how everything looks in that game. Yeah. Which is where the only thing that it can actually kind of has with it. That's why for me, it's like, I don't want to say it's out because it could win it, but it's a very low chance of winning it. I honestly think out of all of them, I think Link's Awakening and Gris are like the two front runners there. I would have to say it's going to be Greece. Is the one it's going to take.
I could see that. That game was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
It's unique in its own way, too. So, yeah. That's the one that I'll vote for on that one.
Okay. Ah, man, this is a tough one, man. Now, I'm almost, like, tempted to also vote Greece just so, like, because we're in a bet here, and I need to make sure I get more than you. So I could play it safe here by going with the one you go with.
You could.
Yeah, so that way, if we both lose, then okay, it's a wash. If we both win, it's a wash. But I'm not that kind of player. I'm gonna go with Sekiro. I am for Sekiro. Best score / music. I think we're both gonna agree here on this one. Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, Sayonara Wild Hearts.
It's Death Stranding. I'm sorry. Fight me. You can fight me if you disagree with it.
It's gotta come on. Amazing score.
Not only, and I usually hate even licensed music in that game. He killed Rockstar's own thing. I'm sorry, he completely shat Rockstar from any high from how using licensed music in his game. But the score itself is punchy, emotional. The themes are just tasty. BB's theme, fantastic.
BB's theme is marvelous. Best audio design. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Control, Death Stranding, Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. This is one that's kind of tough for me, honestly. I can see it going so many different directions. I
It's
did
tough
think
because
Modern Warfare was really impressive, audio
You did think
design
or
wise.
didn't?
I did actually. I know that you were opposite of that though, in a
Well,
lot of ways. So that's tough. Resident Evil 2, horror games in general typically need to have very strong audio design. Um, and it did. So my mind is going towards Resident Evil 2 here.
I'm going in between Control and Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
Is
I didn't
where
play
I'm at.
Control, so that is
Control is the
outside for me.
complete opposite of what you think it should be, as into where it goes from sounds of extreme silence to the hissing all around you with the that's like, I think there's a little bit of a 3D audio pass through that comes through with that. On top of, like, if you're throwing things and whatnot, they have an actual placement in how they throw it. So if something zips by you, it's like by your face, it actually has that sound effect with it. I don't know. Call of Duty's audio design is just typical to me. It's just a
I get that.
typical first-person shooter audio design. There's nothing really groundbreaking there in my thing. I haven't played enough Gears 5 to kind of feel with it. And
Same
Sekiro,
here.
again, it's the same thing. Sekiro is like, it's just typical. There's great cues for the game. There's great gameplay audio cues that can help you with what you need to do. But it's either Resident Evil 2 for actually how its sound is presented with the entire world, or it's Control. Death Stranding has some really great stuff there too, in the sense of the pulsations and how you can hear the BTs, how the mule camps work out, how the audio cues are designed without the encounters and everything like that. It's just, I'm not sure if that's going to carry it through. And here's the thing that really sucks about this category, is that this usually also gets segued in with score and music.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the hard thing. It's like,
It's different though.
It's a different thing.
Yeah. It's very different. What
So
are you going to go with?
If I'm going to vote for it, I'm going to vote for Control on this one.
Okay. I'm going to stick with Resident Evil 2
Okay.
on this one. Okay. Best performance. Ashley Birch as Parvati Holcomb in The Outer Worlds. You got Courtney Hope as Jesse Faden in Control. Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz in Gears 5. Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff in Death Stranding. Matthew Peretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. And Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding. I'm going to go with Mads.
It's Mads.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Courtney does a great job, but that character is not a typical performance. And then Matthew Poretta as Dr. Casper Darling, he's only shown in videos. So to me, that kind of throws that out. It's not a typical performance in a video game. Like, it's just a video. The actor gets to actually just act. And to me, it's like, it's a whole different thing whenever you're either just doing voice line acting or you're actually doing the whole mocap and everything like that. And that's just one of those things. So,
Here's my thing here. And I don't want to come off too cynical. This does come off a little bit cynical. Because Mads deserves this anyway. Because he walked off a Hollywood set with this freaking game. He gave it everything that you would expect out of a Hollywood movie. Like, there's no difference here, I feel like, from what I've seen so far. But on top of that, it legitimizes gaming and the Game Awards if Mads Mikkelsen is there and he goes up on stage to accept this award. And I think that is something you have to keep in mind. So that's the cynical side of it for why he would win to an extent, but I also think he deserves it. So it doesn't matter to me either way.
I'll tell you right now, he deserves it for his performance, period.
Yeah.
The dude made me cry.
Okay.
His entire performance is emotional, and he fucking kills it, especially in the last part of the game.
Excited. Best action game: Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, Metro Exodus.
This is a weird category for me. Best action game. The only game that comes to mind for me with that one is Devil May Cry 5.
And it's the one I think should win, and I think will win.
That's the thing too.
You're the same?
Yep, I'm the exact same.
Okay. Best action adventure game: Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I'm gonna go with Sekiro.
Sekiro for me as well.
Best RPG, Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy 14, Kingdom Hearts 3, Monster Hunter World, The Outer Worlds. This one's tricky. I feel
14.
like 14 should get it. So, yep. All right, we're going in the same direction here on a lot of these. We're moving now, man. We're moving.
Yeah.
Best Fighting Game, Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay.
Reason why I think Mortal Kombat 11 actually it challenged itself and it changed. Super Smash Bros. To me is a port. Nothing's changed.
I get that, but I don't think they're going to think about that.
But
yeah.
I think that's what, I do think Mortal Kombat 11 will, and it also, Mortal Kombat 11 did a lot more than what people realize. It actually presented a really great story in Mortal Kombat sense. And it actually got some really great performances out of people. And the tournaments love it. Smash Bros, not so much. It's kind of like whatever right now. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Best Family Game, Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Yoshi's Crafted World.
I gave it Smash Bros. Ultimate for this one. I'm pretty sure it's going to win it on this one.
It wins Fighting Game. Does it win Family Game too? I feel like I can't vote both of them.
You can.
What's the more likely one though? I really think that they would split it. They don't want to just give like the same game all these awards. I'm gonna go with the tough one. So you're Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I'm gonna go with
Best family game. Think about that. Best family game. Best game that you play together with your family. That's why Smash Bros. Wins for me.
See, I don't think that's the intention of Best Family Game. I think it's family friendly game is what that means.
Well, Ring Fit Adventure, but I mean,
yeah. I'm between Mario Maker 2 and Luigi's Mansion 3, actually.
It's all Nintendo. Nintendo's going to sweep this category.
Yeah, it's true. It is. Wow, you're right. It is all Nintendo. I go with Super Mario Maker 2.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I know. That's a weak one. I don't know. Best strategy game: Age of Wonders, Planetfall, Anno 1800, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Total War Three Kingdoms, Tropico 6, Wargroove, Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I think Anno 1800 actually might win that one.
Okay. Best multiplayer game: Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I think they give this one to Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I'm with Modern Warfare on that one. Don't forget, I think we skipped a category. Best sports and racing game.
Yep, we did. Which makes sense.
Because I don't know.
For me to skip. I didn't even do that intentionally. My mind literally just didn't allow it to exist. The best sports racing game category. Let me pause the video now. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, Dirt Rally 2.0, eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020, F1 2019, FIFA 20.
eFootball Pro Evolution gets it, and then Jeff publicly shames Konami. I'm kidding. This is me being a troll. Publicly shames Konami and says, "You never do what you did to my best friend ever again."
How dare you? How very dare you?
I don't know.
I'm literally just gonna throw an answer. I'm gonna go FIFA.
Okay, I'll say Crash Team Racing.
Okay. I have no idea. Let's see. Fresh Indie Game Studio. ZAUM for Disco Elysium. Nomadia Studios for Grizz. Dead Toast Entertainment for My Friend Pedro. Mobius Digital for Outer Wilds. Mega Crit for Slay the Spire, or House for Untitled Goose Game.
This category kills me. Because every single one of those games is like, wow, these are all great games.
Yeah.
How do I vote for this? Can we all give them an award, please, for being awesome?
I'm torn between Slay the Spire and Disco Elysium as far as those studios go.
What I'm at too.
I'm
in between it. I think Slay the Spire.
I agree. That's the one I was siding towards too.
I think Slay the Spire's got some really long legs behind it.
Yeah. Games for Impact: Concrete Genie, Grizz, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, Sea of Solitude. I'm gonna give this one to Concrete. Okay, Kind Words. I don't know what that is actually.
It's a good game.
I'm gonna give it to Concrete Genie. I want Concrete Genie to get some recognition.
I am surprised that Death Stranding wasn't in this category, to be honest.
Best ongoing game: Apex
Final
Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Tom Clancy's. Got to give something to Fortnite too, though. They're doing a phenomenal job with that game. Granted, they're overworking their people to an insane extent, but
I think 14 will take this just
I think
because
so,
of
too.
how good Shadowbringers. This is going to be the year where they kind of recognize that game. It's been on the docket for the last 4 years, and it's not won a single time. I think this is going to be the year where they kind of go, okay, here you go.
Best independent game: Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds, Untitled Goose Game. I'm gonna give it to Disco Elysium.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to follow you right on that one, too.
Yeah. Best mobile game: Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sky, Children of Light, What the Golf. I'm gonna give it to Sky.
I think I'm going to give it to Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Best community support: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I think I'm gonna give it to Fortnite.
Sorry, I'm going to let it sweep 14.
Okay. Best VR AR game: Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, Trover Saves the Universe. Asgard's Wrath.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to do the exact same thing.
All right, so it's good to see though that like we're going down a similar path for a lot of them, but I think we were different in enough that we will see a winner.
Yeah, we'll definitely see a winner in some of the other. I think we split a little bit more in like the bigger categories, and then as we got to the more smaller categories, we were kind of more together with the indie titles and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, interesting. This will be fun. So yeah, let me know. Let's see. We have another. Yeah, we have another episode before the Game Awards. So maybe next week you can let me know what my challenge is if I lose.
I will do my best.
Maybe make it something on a similar level to what you have to do. Not eat the water beetle.
No,
Nothing like that.
As in why Death Stranding is the best thing ever for the video game industry.
Maybe, if you want to throw it back in my face, that's fine as well. Whatever you want to do.
Maybe I'll consult Mike.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The longest show, the Level Up show we're ever going to have. Sony patented a cartridge. You guys have seen it. There's like a mock-up of it here. This mock-up... Oh, sorry, you're supposed to take this one, Vince. I apologize. But this mock-up here is a solid, SSD expandable storage. A lot of people were thinking proprietary SSD storage for PS5. Let me know, though, Vince. You can take the story now. What happened here?
What happened here? Well, so for everyone, let's not panic. It was debunked. This entire thing was. So the original note that we had here was it leaked out little by little. We were starting. This was from PlayStation Universe. We're starting to get a handle on technical specification of Sony's next generation console, the PS5. Was perhaps the most persistent of these leaks regarding the machine was that a mysterious cartridge patent was reported one last week. The train of thought being that the cartridge might represent additional storage for the PS5. Because it had a 12-pin layout and everything like that. It has been pretty much confirmed by 4 sources now that it's for the Sony, I can't say the name, I apologize, but the Toyo. It is a children's programming console type deal. So it's just a cartridge for them to store programs and other applets onto that. Now, however, I do think that there is a grain of truth here in the sense of...
I'm with you.
That,
like, how do they make this work otherwise?
Right. And
even though this isn't what the proprietary SSD storage is through this patent, it doesn't mean it won't happen.
Right. And right now, the rumors have pointed to a 2 terabyte internal SSD is what we'll be getting with the PS5. Is the 2 terabyte will be the...
Do you believe that? Do you think it'll be 2 terabytes? Or honestly, I thought it was going to be 1.
I think it's going to be 2 terabytes.
That's going to be pretty pricey in SSD, isn't it?
It's not, because SSD prices are dropping.
Okay.
And considering if they got a decent price point on that, I'm thinking it's going to be 2. The worst case scenario is we're getting 1 terabyte. We're getting 1.
Would you be satisfied with 2? Looks like the chat so far is voting they want over 2.
Yes, because here's the other thing. Everyone keeps freaking out that their games are going to be 300 some gigabytes big.
Right.
The big thing that happened this generation, everyone, was data duplication went crazy because the games were developed with stock 540 RPM hard drives. We're talking about I don't even know what my percentage was when I calculated earlier today. It's roughly around a 76%, something like that, speed increase in what we're going to see here. So Data does not need to be structured. The other thing too was because of audio being uncompressed, and like saying like you're putting in Death Stranding, like not Death Stranding, but like you're playing in like a Ubisoft title. Well, Ubisoft titles had English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Portuguese, and then like usually one other language in them. We're talking about like something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey that has over 80 hours of dialogue or something like that. That eats up data.
Right.
That's not happening this next generation, hopefully. We're going to be seeing games being shipped with only one language. You can download the other language if you want. But that's the other thing. So I'm not worried about that. I think it's going to be 2 terabyte. It's going to be fine. I think we're going to get USB 3.1 as our external HD solutions there for archiving purposes only. I do think there will be a proprietary expandable storage slot that will be used in the same speed conjunction as what the internal SSD will be. And that's the only thing I think.
If they go that direction, do you expect it to be more expensive
terrified.
than
I am terrified.
whatever else is out there, SanDisk or whatever, whoever's making expandable storage for SSD right now?
Yes, I'm terrified because we saw that with the Vita.
Right, but don't you think they would learn their lesson from the Vita?
You would think, and it's one of those things that you sit there in the back of your mind, because there was someone I was reading a tech thread about it too, and some people were actually kind of were talking about it. If this is if this is a true out custom solution, and Sony goes, okay, well, why don't we just license this out to other people? Or the other thing too is that's the one thing that we've seen with Sony with the controllers. Microsoft has made its own Elite controllers and it's made its adaptive controllers. They've made that all in-house, right?
Yeah.
Sony has not made an Elite controller. You know what they've done? They just farmed it out to everyone else. Scuff Gaming does their own controller. Right. Astro has the official PlayStation licensed controller as their Elite controller. Razer had an attempt at it. Namcom had an attempt at it. So we could see Sony being opening to going up to saying to Western Digital or SanDisk or even Samsung saying, hey, this is our connection. Let's work out a deal here. And Samsung can go, okay, we'll make a game drive or we'll make an expandable memory drive and we can see the competitiveness. Or if they go to all three, guess what? There's a competition there. I don't know. Yeah. I hope that kind of, I think everyone needs to kind of pump the brakes a little bit with freaking out that games are going to be massive. Games aren't going to get massive unless we move from 2K textures to 4K textures, which honestly, I don't think we're going to see within the first couple of years of the PS5 anyway, because the content pipelines don't line up right now with that. They still don't line up, especially if you're going to start doing ray tracing and other things and more AI simulations or anything that it's not there.
That was not the only patent we received this week, though, Vince.
I know.
Am I right?
You are right. And this was
what else we get?
Exciting. The patent also showed a first look at the DualShock 5 controller.
Yes, and we're going to put this up on the big screen for you guys because there are some slight differences, but they are slight.
They are very
in comparison to the PS4 DualShock 4. Let me wait for these cartridges to disappear here. A lot of people were concerned at the start that the joysticks were smaller, but that's actually not the case. The difference is that the rest of the controller is bulkier.
Yes.
It's got a little more heft to it. It also kind of tapers in at the bottom in a similar way to the Xbox controller in comparison to the original PS4. It doesn't have like two dildos on each side now. It's a little bit more of a gradual taper towards the center. It also has what looks like it might be a microphone built in at the bottom. It has two what do you call those?
Headphone jacks is what they're called. 3.5 millimeter jacks in there. Yes.
Yeah. And it also looks like the triggers are a little bit more gun trigger like.
They are gun trigger like. The big thing that's changed there too is that the triggers no longer curve all the way inward then outward again. So the thing that's going to happen is, like, I think you've experienced this too, where you play your DualShock 4 down and the R2s, that's not going to happen anymore. The other thing too that I was looking at this patent is I have like I said to everyone, I play on the Astro C40 controller. It's one of my favorite controllers I've played for my PlayStation. This is not a product placement, by the way. But
are you sure?
But looking at the design of it, I was like, official PlayStation product. I see what Sony did, those dirty dogs. They were like, hey, Astro, hey, check this out. Come up with something here. hey, cool, we own that design. And that's what it looks like from a heft and the width standpoint. If you look at a side profile, the C40 controller compared to that patent, it looks very similar to that aspect. And the C40 controller actually has a decent amount of weight to it. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm still curious.
Let me pause on this mock-up here. You probably would look at this and immediately be like, that's the DualShock 4. But no, it is not. If look at that bottom there, you can see that taper that I was talking about there. And you can also see more of like a rounded edge on the left and right. It's just a little bit more rounded in comparison to the DualShock 4. It's not quite to the extent of like an Xbox controller, but it is going more and more in that direction. And I feel like that's what the PS4 controller is gradually becoming, is a symmetrical Xbox controller.
Yeah.
What do you think about the touchpad remaining?
It's there for PS4 backwards compatibility. The other
But
thing,
why not just use a PS4 controller with your PS5, considering the PS4 controller will work with PS5?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have some other plans for the touchpad.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, I like the touchpad as a button myself, or 4 buttons for that matter. It can be used as a lot of buttons, and I like that myself. I don't really remember using it as a touchpad, like a touch trackpad at all. So that I don't care about. I just feel like first parties were the only ones that even tried to take advantage of that. But as a
the
button,
light bar's
sure.
gone, I believe, too.
It still has a light, but it's like incredibly small now, and I can't imagine it would be used for VR.
It's not going to be. So that's the other thing people are talking about is like, are they just going to make the DualShock 4 the standard VR controller that comes out now? Which I was like, why not?
Yeah. I think it looks comfy though. I like the way it looks. I actually am happy that it's going to be a little bit bulkier, but not a lot, because DualShock 4 is very close to what I want it to be. I think a little bit more weight to it would be welcomed. But yes. I don't want it to become a lot bulkier. Just that little bit more bulk is perfect in my.
Yep.
So I'm on board for this.
Yeah. No,
what do you think about there being no paddles? A lot of people are like, oh my god, why are there no paddles? I don't get this. Like, I get it. Like, paddles are a niche thing.
Paddles are a niche thing. Again, not a product placement. The thing that I liked about the C40 controller is it's not paddles. It's just a button at the end. It's the buttons at the bottom part of the back part of the controller near where your hand grips are. So like where like for me, where my index fingers wrap around the handles of the controller, it's a button there that wraps around all the way. Like, why not? I don't know. Maybe that could be something that can happen. Or you know what? They do research all the time. Honestly, paddles are, again, like you said, a niche thing. And they really only serve purposes for like first-person shooters, in my opinion. Yeah. I've played them with a bunch of other games. I actually honestly use mine for my. I mapped an R1 to Death Stranding, so I could sit there and be rotating the camera while moving, while holding L2 and R2 to grab my pack, but I could still sit there and scan the environment.
Yeah,
I'm kind of cheating a little bit, you know.
Personally, I prefer a button on the inside of the grip in comparison to a paddle.
Yeah.
That's my preference. If they were to do anything, I'd rather than just do a button on the inside of the grip that your index finger can tap.
It feels better that way too. Whereas I actually have SCUF controllers as well, and like the paddles are nice whenever they sit in that same position. The thing that I've noticed too is that my index fingers tend to crawl down. Yep. So I tend to like not overextend, but I tend to like kind of twist my grip a little bit with that, and it just after a while my hands just hurt a little bit.
Moving on. Let's go over to the Xbox side of things. Xbox will no longer focus on acquisitions, although they are still open to new ones. VG Chronicles writes, speaking at a media briefing attended by VGC, Xbox Game Studios boss Matt Booty suggested the platform's holders' studio expansion strategy was coming to an end. Booty claimed Xbox now boasts, quote, more games than we know what to do with, and said at X019, which saw new content from 8 of Xbox's 15 studios, was just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what it has planned. Quote, recently we've been shifting our focus inside Xbox Game Studios from acquisition and growth to a phase of execution and delivery. Recently, we got all 15 of our studios heads together in New York City. They came together in a meeting, and it was a really humbling and inspiring experience for me to be with these 15 creative leaders that represent over 300 years of experience with game design and production. However, Phil Spencer, not too long after that, also made a comment saying, quote, I do think we can sometimes get a little infatuated with putting a bunch of studio logos on a slide, and that becomes the news. They're not trading cards. They're studios, and we want them to build great games. I love the fact that we're here announcing 3 new IPs, 2 from our internal studios. As I look forward, there's not a show I can look at where we're not going to be announcing new games. And just because of the breadth of studios we have. It's not really some kind of PR battle about how many new acquisitions we can put on stage, because if we're not building great games, the acquisitions don't matter. But are we done? I don't think so. So it sounds like they are going to shift focus towards let's execute on the acquisitions. But I think if they had the opportunity for like an Asian studio, they will definitely go for it.
And that's the one thing they said they really want to try to add to their portfolio, which I think is very, very good on them, because they
need to. Yeah,
they need to. And I'm happy with what they're doing. I'm glad some of the studios they picked up. And it's going to be a good fit, I think. I'm honestly rooting for a lot of Xbox game studios now, for a lot of the development team that they've picked up now.
Mm-hmm. A simple question in the chat. Do you think MS has caught up to Sony in first party? They have as many?
I'm going to say, as of right now, no.
I would agree. As of right now, no.
But the potential for them to catch up or even surpass is very high in that aspect. It's just a matter of just greenlighting the right projects and moving forward.
I think it also comes down, obviously, to taste.
It does.
The studios that they've picked up, in all honesty, to me, are not that attractive. That's just me. Like, even Obsidian, I know a lot of people are like, yes, Obsidian. To me, that was like, okay. Ninja Theory was probably the one that I was most like, oh, shit. Like, what's another one? I'm trying to think of their names. Tim Schafer, Double Fine.
Double Fine.
I was like, okay, like what has Double Fine done lately that I really care that much about? Undead Labs. I was like, okay. Who else? I'm trying to think here. The ones that did that sort of like noir type game from early on in the generation. I can't think of their name on top of my head, and that tells you how I feel about them. It's just like they were it's kind of like a whatever studio. Didn't really care one way or the other that they were picked up. Yeah, so the only ones that I was really like, oh shit, was probably Ninja Theory so far.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Ninja Theory definitely hurt me a little bit, considering coming off of Hellblade, buying Hellblade day one, and Hellblade selling the best on PlayStation. That kind of stunned a little bit to me. I was like, okay, you went to the platform holder that the game did not sell the most on, but
yeah,
okay. But at the same time, I know Ninja Theory was
money talks.
Well, I also know that they were in a dire predicament. So
yeah,
I'm okay with that, considering the studio at least gave me Hellblade, and I can always forever appreciate what that game was.
Compulsion was what I was thinking of. Playground, I don't really care one way or the other because they were, in all essence, first party already. So that really didn't mean much. It was just like, oh, okay, they went from second party to first party.
Oh wait, Compulsion game was We Happy Few, right?
That was
Yeah, that was that's gonna be an interesting one, because that's considered the narrative grab that they got when they first got
the game. Really did not deliver on expectations, but narratively, I heard it was pretty strong.
Yes.
So yeah, those will be the narrative guys. I'm most excited to see what Playground does outside of Forza, because I think they are the strongest studio that Xbox has right now.
Well, the big rumor is they're the ones doing Fable. That's the big.
That's the thing, that the rumor has been going around forever now. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
They did they dabbled in Fable before though. Playground. It just didn't release.
Right.
Yeah. Xbox's publishing, don't know. It's Tell Me Why. That's the one you're thinking of. So that's really cool. I'm excited to see that. Xbox's subscription day one release model will incentivize quantity over quality. Mark my words. No dev can make a good game under this circumstance. I think that they are truly trying to let these developers spread their wings and fly. I think that they are really trying to not fall into the same problems that they did in the past, where they were dictating to a fault where these teams could go and what they could do and what artistic variants they had. It felt like they've changed since then. Like when they announced, like for instance, that oh God, what's their name that does all the Gears games? I'm drawing a blank.
Black Tusk, not Black Tusk.
No, that was what they were, and then they changed. Right? They were Black Tusk, and then they changed to something else.
Oh,
and it's like a C. It's got like a gear.
The Coalition.
Coalition. The Coalition. When they announced Coalition, it's like, this is our gear studio. I was like, that is not how you should have announced that. Like that's the last thing I wanted to hear. Like, okay, they're Gears right now, but don't announce them as the Gears studio, right?
Yeah.
Like they need to be able to spread their wings and fly. Let them fly, man. Like if Gears isn't working, like let them fly, and I'm sure they will. But that's not what they said. They said this is the Gears studio.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think that team has really turned around from Gears 4 to Gears 5 for sure.
Yeah,
sorry.
Supposedly Gears 5 is still better than Gears 4, according to Phil Spencer.
Wait. Was it Gears 4? Was it Gears 4 then Gears Judgment then Gears 5?
No, it was Gears Judgment then Gears 4 then Gears 5.
So Gears Judgment was not
after
considered
3.
that great.
Yeah.
Gears 4 was still considered rough, and then Gears 5 has been the breakout hit for the Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Let's keep going here. We've got an Assassin's Creed rumor. Take it away, Vince.
Yeah. I said so. The Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is the details leaked here. The game was codenamed Kingdom, which actually does line up, but is now called Ragnarok. Release is going to be in fall of 2020 on both old and new gen consoles. Revealed during the PlayStation event in February. Say what?
Say what?
Viking setting around 800 BC. Map includes Scandinavia and a big part of England, including London and Plymouth. Plymouth? I don't know. Choice between a woman and a man, but there's no impact on the story. That is the same. Protagonist, woman or male, is called Yora, and becomes an assassin during the game. Brotherhood system is back with recruitable NPCs. You can still use a boat to travel on seas, but there is less naval combat than Black Flag or Odyssey, in my opinion. Story-wise, the game is focused on a revenge quest with a big part of the first Civilization story. Realms like Asgard or Jotunheim can be visited in the game. Mythical beings such as Odin or Loki play a big part in the story, as well as the I can't say the name. I'm sorry. I know what they are.
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil. Game has a present day part, but as much as Origins or Odyssey, it will conclude the present day storyline. Gameplay is the same as Odyssey with improved mechanics and further RPG elements.
Assassin's Creed, God of War.
Not really.
I know it's not going to play like God of War.
No.
But it's just like coming 2 years after God of War, 3 years.
Spoiler alert.
By the time it comes out, it's just I think people are going to think God of War.
Anybody who's especially played Odyssey or even Origins, the gods are the first civilization.
Okay.
That's what that is. So like Odin isn't going to be the god Odin. He's going to be one of those who came before type deals. That's what the Fate of Atlantis DLC that I'm playing right now is. Like right now I'm in the realm of Hades. I'm actually talking to Hades.
Yeah.
But Hades is part of the first civilization. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just this whole thing of like that's where the Assassin's Creed games gets really fun and wonky when it's like, okay, wait a minute, this is this whole alien race that came before humanity, created humanity. Sorry, massive spoiler alerts for the Assassin's Creed franchise.
I don't
My
care.
bad. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
For anyone who in chat who's not been playing it since 2007, sorry, spoiler alerts. But that's the whole thing. So the other thing too is I've also heard this a little bit more from some smaller rumors in the water here. The RPG elements, skills are going to be upgraded a little bit more naturally, from what I understand. Like there's going to be, I've heard a stamina bar for climbing, but I'm not quite sure if they're actually going to do that quite yet. Mm-hmm. But the other thing too I did hear as well is eating and hydration, and it's going to be more of like a survival style type game as well.
Okay.
Light elements, as in like it's supposed to go from like cold to hot to where like that's where that's going to be kind of a thing that can affect like that type of stuff. I've heard that. I don't know if that could have been the working the working stuff there, because the original codename Kingdom was actually supposed to be a realm jumping game, to where I think they've kind of settled back into Ragnarok being the Viking the Viking setting to be more of a like a foundation for them to actually be able to do that. It was supposed to be all over the place, from what I understand before. It was supposed to be, you would go from Vikings back to Egypt, back to Greece, back to, being Native American. Like it was supposed to be all over the place. And I think they kind of scaled back a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the big thing that came out of this entire leak, in my opinion, I'm
PS5 meeting, right?
The rumored PlayStation event in February. That is the thing that I'm like,
surprising to me. I really didn't think they would do February. And granted, this is just rumor and speculation, but I was pretty sure that this one would not happen in February like the last one did. I was thinking more like April.
I was thinking April, May. May is what I was thinking, actually. I thought they were going to be, I thought it was going to be a much more tighter, as in like May, and then E3. Even if they weren't at E3, they would still like announce stuff, and then here's the holiday release. Kind of going from like a Nintendo Direct type style thing.
Things have changed though, or shifted. Last of Us delayed, for example. I wonder if something like that could play a part in when they want to reveal PS5. I don't know.
That could be.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But let's move on. We got our Black Friday deals really starting to come together now. We're going to start here with PlayStation. Only on PlayStation PS4 bundle is going to be $199.99. It comes with The Last of Us Remastered, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. This is a 1 terabyte system. That is a great bundle.
That's a great deal.
That is a great deal, man. If you don't have a PS4 yet at all, this is your first PS4, that is a killer bundle right there. So I think that's going to do pretty freaking well for them. And if you want that Pro, maybe you already have a PS4, but you want to get a Pro. It's not a bundle, but you can get it for $299 for the PS4 Pro. They also have a PSVR multi-game bundle. This comes with PSVR headset, PS camera, vouchers to download 5 PSVR titles. Astrobot, amazing. Skyrim VR, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Everybody's Golf VR, and PlayStation VR Worlds. All of that for $109.99.
That's crazy.
There's another VR bundle. The Blood and Truth plus Everybody's Golf bundle. This one's $249.99. It'll be the same VR headset, camera, but this one comes with 2 PS Move controllers, and it comes with Blood and Truth and Everybody's Golf VR. They're pretty solid. If you want a PS Gold headset, it's discounted from $100 down to $70. If you want a DualShock 4, it's discounted from $60 or whatever it is to $40. Days Gone, Marvel Spider-Man, Game of the Year Edition, Medieval, Concrete Genie, and MLB The Show 19 are all being discounted down to $20. Days Gone at $20. That could be enough for me. I don't know. We'll see. And here's some other great game deals that I saw just kind of browsing around. Everybody should keep an eye out on Plague Tale Innocence. That game was great, and it's going to be $25 on the PlayStation Store. Devil May Cry 5. I'll be picking up this one.
I'll be picking that one
$19.79. That's amazing. I'll be getting that. Metro Exodus, $20.99. Mortal Kombat 11, $29.99. Red Dead Redemption 2, $29.99. And Outer Worlds, already discounted to $44.99. That was pretty quick.
That was pretty quick.
Moving over to the Xbox side, this one not quite as clear as the PlayStation side. I was trying to find more and more, but here's what I was able to find. You have the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, which does not have a disc drive, by the way. That's going to be bundled with 3 games for $150. The Xbox One S with 1 game is at $200, and I guess you choose that game. And is it any game? Can you just get any game?
It'll be with, if it's like the original promotion with the X, it'll be like you choose out of like a certain series of titles, as in like I think it was like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, blah 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 blah. That's what it's going to be.
And then again, Xbox One X with a game, that one's going to start at $350. Those prices are up to $150 off their normal price, and the selection of games includes the new Jedi Fallen Order. So there is a selection. Jedi Fallen Order is in there, so that's pretty awesome. DMC5 is on Game Pass too, just saying. That I did not know. God, I wish.
I don't think it's on PC Game Pass though.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I can only do PC Game Pass.
That's the only thing I wish they would change. I wish they would start just making it to where it was just the thing. If it was on Game Pass, it's on Game Pass.
Game Pass.
But whatever.
And let's talk about a few games as well on the Xbox side. Gears 5 discounted to $30. Sea of Thieves down to $25. Assassin's Creed Odyssey I saw on Xbox Digital download for $18.
Oh, or you could pay $60 for Stadia.
And I'm betting on PlayStation it's the same for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And Control as well, I'm assuming same on PlayStation, down to $39.
There you go.
What will you guys in the chat be picking up, if anything? Only on PlayStation PS4 bundle, the PS4 Pro, PSVR, one of the PlayStation hits. We get the Xbox One S all digital edition, the Xbox One S with a game, Xbox One X with a game, or maybe something different entirely. Let us know in the chat. Stay active, guys. Stay active in that chat.
Zero things for me.
Zero things for you.
I bought my $200 Death Stranding.
And the final story of the level update. Take it away, Vince.
All right. Amy, is it Hennig?
It's Hennig.
Hennig, okay, thank you. Heads a new studio for Skydance Media. VentureBeat writes, Hollywood studio Skydance Media, maker of Mission Impossible and the Terminator movies, has hired Uncharted co-creator Amy Hennig and former Electronic Arts executive Julian Beek to start a new game studio in the San Francisco Bay. The move means that Skydance, run by Larry Ellison's son, David Ellison, will give Hennig and Beek the leeway to create a new division within Skydance and form a new game studio to hire lots of game developers in offices in the Bay Area and at Skydance Media's headquarters in Santa Monica, California. In an interview with GamesBeat, Hennig said the new company will target gamers and non-gamers alike on both traditional and emerging streaming platforms, the new story-focused experiences. Crafted as an interactive series, they will also employ state-of-the-art computer graphics to provide the visual fidelity of television and film, but with an active, lean-in experience that puts the audience in the driver's seat. After Visceral closed, we both looked at the industry. We said we were going to take a little time, Hennig said. Looking at the landscape, it felt like we were at an inflection point, and not just the game industry, but at the center of the entertainment industry as a whole. And so we were just fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do a survey of the industry and talk to people and engage with people in the industry, as well as the traditional entertainment industry, just to see where people thought the wind was blowing. Who were you going to partner with?
That was the question. They went with Skydance. Kind of interesting. Behind films like Terminator, I believe, and it says that even Mission Impossible, Terminator movies. From what I've read a little further into this one, and it's very narrative focused. With a budget, like a big budget though. Like they're talking about doing big, bombastic, pulp action, exciting Indiana Jones, Uncharted type stuff. And some of it might be shorter in length and might not be as interactive as the games you might expect them to be. It sounds like it might be very narrative driven to the point where maybe it's even like an interactive movie. I don't know. It seems like there's some variety of possibilities here. But I always love Hennig, and I feel for her. Like she's had so many issues in the last generation. So I want to see her get on her feet and deliver something awesome that she's proud of.
Same here, man. Same here.
Been too long. And that is the level updates. Let's get into some wheel spins because we got a few things that dropped in here. A bunch of stuff, actually. So many subs today. We got 12 subs, a dozen subs. Some of those gifted, it looks like. So let's go to the wheel spins here. We're going to spin first for Minstrel Pangolin, who was gifted a sub by Hip Old Guy, no longer here. But, man, how about some support tonight? Coming in for the first time with so much support. And Minstrel, this one's for you. We're going to give 5 XP to the entire room. After that, we had Gaming Alien resubscribed through Prime. He's going to give you guys 10 XP to the entire room. Then we had Ginkgo Swag, also using Prime, now 33 months. This one's for you, Ginkgo. 10 XP to the entire room. We had King Kurt using his Prime sub for 18 months now. Year and a half badge coming in for King Kurt. This one's for you.
Woo woo.
We got 15 to the entire room. After that, we had Derek gifting a sub to Hip Old Guy. So deserve that. Hip Old Guy giving you guys a spin here, and it's going to be another 15 to the entire room. Way to go, room. And then we got Turtle Power using Prime to give 34 months of support. This one's for you, Turtle Power. That is 5 XP to the room. And then finally, we're going to switch over to the Dirty Wheel because Baz coming in with that producer sub, tier 3. 52 months. 52 months coming in from Baz. This one's for you. We got 50 XP to the entire room. Way to go, room. We'll do 2 times 25 on that. We're going to start a subscription gift giveaway in the chats to any non-subs that might be in the room. If you are a non-sub, and only if you're a non-sub, you can type in !sub gift while this is active during commercial break. And we are going to do that right now. Let's take a little break here. And we'll be back with the trailer of the week and the rapid fire news roundup. We'll close the show off and get into our 30-minute after show, which can become a 60-minute after show if we get another 22, 23-ish dollars in tips tonight. So keep that in mind if you want to activate the $60 after show entirely dedicated to talking with the chat. But right now, break time. Hold on tight. Hakume will be back in approximately a minute and a half. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 284. This gaming dedicated talk show on every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I literally just barely made it back after that commercial break. That's the problem with having set hotkeys now for these timers. Like I literally sat down in the seat and it came back that quickly. So good timing there. Guys, whoever's in the chat that might be new, hope you're enjoying the stream. Hit that heart button here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show if you are. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get those alerts whenever I go live every Wednesday and Saturday. We got a sub gift giveaway active in chat right now. Type in !sub gift if you like a shot at that. Wolf Yee, not a sub right now, so perfect. How you doing tonight, man? Forgot this comes up Saturday now. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. There's going to be a little bit of time before I think people remember that we're now on Saturdays. We also got Mick Wales coming in with the sub-gift application. Good to have you here. Hakume as well. We are gonna be wrapping this show up very soon. Let's get into our trailer of the week. Let me get this set up. Can you get it set up on your end as well?
I got it already.
Very nice, very nice. Get the TV in here and make sure I'm all set up and ready to go. All right. We are going to be taking a look at Half-Life Alyx.
Oh, boy.
I will give you the 3, 2, 1 if you are ready, Vince.
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm here. So what's the plan?
If we can get this weapon, what we're doing here could change things forever.
There's no straight shot to the vault. I'm gonna head inside, find a way out. Got it.
I'm with you every step of the way.
You're gonna need a gun.
Animation.
Don't worry, it's unloaded.
Nice.
It is.
It's unloaded now.
I can't believe this.
It's unloaded now. Dude, some of this shit is crazy.
Combine channels already
I
picking up.
think-
They know you're coming. You need to get out of here, now.
Dude, like, what do they move around the shit for? That's crazy.
This is what VR is. This is the true capabilities of VR.
Oh, God.
They've got Dad.
They're gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alyx stands alone cannot prevent his fate.
Close your eyes, honey.
God. I can't believe they're doing this.
I know, isn't it crazy?
I mean, here's the thing for me.
Let's talk about that. Just the fact that they're doing this after, for so long, people clamoring for Half-Life 3. I mean, this is a prequel, but that is essentially what this is. This is like Snake Eater being the Metal Gear Solid 3. This is Half-Life 3, and it is VR only.
Yep.
Think about that. People have been asking for this game for years and years and years, and they made it exclusive to VR. How do you feel about that, Vince?
I'm excited for it. It makes me want to accelerate my plans on getting a second PC that is capable of doing VR this way and being able to experience this, because playing Half-Life 2 was amazing.
I've never played Half-Life.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing: when you play Half-Life 2, it has its age now. I played it right like a couple years after the fact it had come out, right? But when you go and you play, and like one of the progression things here is when you're in the checkpoint, the character goes, pick that can up,
Yeah.
and you go, and you pick that can up, and you actually throw it in the trash. It's like, I can only imagine even back in the day, it was like, what the shit, you know?
Yeah.
And like this scene right here with the cupboards, like moving through and grabbing bullets.
That
way
is
you can
freaking
load.
awesome.
That's what Valve used to do, man. And I'm so glad to see this is a Valve game through and through that we're trying to see that. This is what they usually have done. I just can't wait. I really want to play this.
For a VR title, visually, it looks just astounding. It's so smooth, so crisp. The animations are amazing. Detail is amazing. I'll never play it because I'm not picking up Vive, but
here's the rumor.
Go ahead.
The rumor is Sony.
Really?
There's been
PlayStation VR?
There is a very slight rumor behind it.
That would be huge. That'd be pretty freaking huge.
I don't know if it's gonna be for PSVR 2. I don't know if it's gonna be part of their new track system they have for it.
That would, in essence, make it a PlayStation console exclusive. That'd be crazy.
Because the PSN framework is still integrated into Steam after all these years. And I forget what I was reading today. People were like, literally, there's like a 10% chance that this could be a thing. But they said the groundwork for the relationship is already there. So it could happen.
That would be exciting. That would be very, very exciting. I would definitely try it out, especially considering it's a prequel, because it won't rely on me knowing what happens. I'm sure it would be better if I know.
No,
but
I think you're gonna be fine.
I'd probably be okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that, at first it wasn't about making Half-Life in VR. It was just making a VR game. I don't know if you guys have watched the Jeff Keighley video. But yeah, they just wanted to make a VR experience, and they were trying to figure out what franchise was best for that. They actually started with Portal, and they were like, no, this is just too much of a head problem. Like, literally, it's going to give people headaches.
Yeah.
It'll make you sick. And then they considered Half-Life, and they realized that it just made a lot of sense for that world. The face huggers and like you were saying, like filtering through things on covers and picking them up, and it made sense in that world. And then the more and more they went into it, they realized what they were making couldn't be done without VR. And then it was like, okay, I guess we're only VR. They thought about trying to do it with a keyboard and mouse as well, but they were saying they would need to use like every key on the keyboard in order to make that work. And it got to a point where it didn't make sense. They were either compromising their VR vision or doing something completely different than what they started. So that's why it turned out this way. A lot of people complaining about the floating hands.
Here's my thing. I've never understood that. I've never understood that from a sense of like, what's the words I want to use here? It's essentially, to me, it's a non-issue. I think it's okay. I think it's whatever. It's a design standpoint that happens. It lets you see what's going on, because if you're trying to manipulate your arm, like if you're trying to show a whole arm in VR, do you realize how wonky that looks?
Yeah. They don't have any point of analysis for your elbow.
Right.
So even though you might be moving your arm this way or that way, the camera is not going to know where your elbow is. And that is going to create a divide between what you're doing and what the game is doing from a visual representation. And that's going to take you actually more out of the experience than the floating hands are.
Yeah.
So that's why they do it, primarily. From what I understand, that's the primary reason that they do the floating hands, because your mind pretty quickly starts to overlook that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. The less visual data you have, the less your brain freaks out. It's one of those things to where early VR development, they had to where, like, you were seeing your forearm and whatnot. And what was happening was your brain was going, that's not my arm. What is that? Why? What is that? And then you start seeing, like, some really weird latency behind that. It's weird. Like I said, I don't know. I just think that if you're going to want to do, if people who want to do full tracking, guess what? They will make a VR shirt for you that you'll wear it's a full skin tight shirt that you have to wear. It's going to have lights on your elbows and everything like that. And you're going to look ridiculous, but hey, there's your tracking.
The future.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Bobo Chat coming in here, leader of the Stew, the team that we're on. Everybody check out the Stew. There's the link in the chat. It's a great team. Head up by Bobo Chat. He says, let's see here. VR games have always been hit or miss, mainly miss, but this looks legit. Holy smokes. I mean, it's Half-Life. They're going to put so much effort behind this. I just can't imagine this not being killer for them. I think it's going to be awesome. I really think they're going to put a lot into this and make sure that it's an amazing experience and a flagship title for VR. That's what I'm expecting.
And you know, it's crazy. We're starting to get one of those every other couple months now. You know, it's kind of fun. It's exciting.
Asgard's Wrath. I mean, I'm hearing really crazy things about that game. Sounds really great. Everything I've seen, watched online, I'm like, holy shit, man. This is like the deepest VR game I've ever seen. But we got to wrap up this show, ladies and gentlemen. We got one more thing to do here. It is the Rapid Fire News Roundup. All right, first up in the Rapid Fire News Roundup. Let's see. Xbox Scarlet will focus on, quote, new characters and stories. One of the nice things about this shift from 1X to Project Scarlet is that you will be able to play the games of today. You'll be able to play them tomorrow on future hardware. It's one of the commitments we made this gen. As we came out with 1X, it was the same games you were playing on X1, just looking better. We want to do that, but I also want people to be excited about new stories, new characters on the new platform, and that's something we are focused on. Great! I don't know, I feel like they've said that before, and it's not like their games don't have like new characters and stories occasionally. I'm glad if they move away from the IPs that they consistently do over and over again. But Coalition is their Gears studio, so maybe it just means new characters and new stories within their next Gears game. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll wait and see.
Same here.
Let me reveal the winner of the sub gift giveaway. We got Mick Wales coming in. Way to go, Mick Wales. You in the chat still? Where you at? Let me backtrack here. See if I can find you. There you are. We're going to give a sub gift to Mick Wales. Welcome to the +1 posse, sir. Congrats. We'll give you a wheel spin. Close off the show as well. Don't forget, guys, we got a 30-minute after show coming up after this. Entirely focused on talking to chat, and that can become a 60-minute after show if you guys hit that goal at the bottom of the screen. All right, so let's see. Final Fantasy XIV PS5 is confirmed.
Yay!
Yay! I mean, yeah, why not, right?
I mean, what's interesting to me is PS5 development and not the PS4 version will get upscale for the PS5. So I'm curious about that.
I mean, it also was confirmed in development for Xbox.
It was, finally.
Yeah. Finally. It's about damn time. When do you think it actually comes out on Xbox?
Next year.
Yeah. Like late next year, even.
I'm thinking like very close to the Scarlet launch.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm thinking as well. I think it's further than some people were thinking based on that announcement.
Yeah.
At the whatever it was called, X019 or X019, whatever they say it. Moving on from that, the Sonic movie redesign, which you guys can check out the trailer for, only cost them $5 million.
This is a crazy success story for them, but I also think it's kind of coming true to where it's like, yeah, let's put this out here first, see how the internet reacts. Okay, the internet reacted really badly, let's change it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it looks so much better.
It does.
Here's the full trailer up on screen for you guys. I'm just going to let this thing play. I mean, holy shit. It's night and day. It's the difference between me seeing this and not seeing it. Well, honestly, I could have seen it before just to see how bad it was. But now I'm actually interested in it as like a kid's movie.
You know what's funny for me? It's invoking the same feelings for me as Detective Pikachu. It's invoking the same thing. Right. I don't know. When I watched this trailer with a couple of my colleagues at work, I don't know. We were all dying at Sonic's dialogue. I think it's funny. He's got that. I just don't know how much I can handle like this type of interaction, like with the like screaming and like the main character, like the actual real people. Like that's where I think I'm going to be like, okay. But Jim Carrey's going to kill.
I'm actually a little nervous about Jim Carrey. I don't know. I am a little bit.
He does. When
he hams it up now, it's not the same as when he was younger. I don't know. It just doesn't come across as natural, I guess would be the word.
See, I was gonna say this role feels like the most natural that I've seen him do in a while since like the Grinch. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you had like the Grinch, and then after that you had Jim Carrey just wasn't doing great movies, even with comedies. He was just not doing well. This feels like a much more old school Jim Carrey, which I can appreciate a little bit more.
One thing I will say with certainty is worth every penny. This $5 million.
Yes,
it will make this money back.
Yep,
I really think so. I think $5 million worth of people will see this movie because of this major improvement. It improves the advertising. There's a much better trailer, partially because of the design. It's just a better trailer in general, but it's a better trailer a lot because of the design and the emotions that you can actually like see in this design in comparison to the original. It's just, it improves everything about the movie.
Okay. Yeah, like here's the other thing too with this old like that old design. So that whole little scene where you saw Sonic dancing, going, I have no idea. Could you imagine that with the old model?
No,
right?
I don't know if I want to.
I don't want to either.
Yeah.
So I think this new change has definitely helped.
They deserve so much credit, the VFX team, man. Kudos to you guys.
They did.
Doing it in the short amount of time you did for $5 million. Great job. Just amazing job. Moving on from that, Sony has announced an AI initiative.
Ooh.
Sony AI. Sony's purpose is to fill the world with emotion through the power of creativity and technology, recognizing that AI will play a vital role in the fulfillment of this purpose. Sony AI is being established with a mission to unleash human imagination and creativity with AI.
Oh my God.
Sony's AI will combine world-class fundamental research and development with Sony's unique technical assets, especially in imaging and sensing solutions, robotics and entertainment, games, music, movies, driving transformation across all existing business domains and contributing to the creation of new business domains. In addition, one of the long-term goals is to contribute to the resolution of shared global issues extending beyond Sony's business domains. Sony AI will drive the research and development of AI in both physical and virtual space through multiple world-class flagship projects, as well as other explorative research projects, including AI ethics. I feel like that entire thing should have been read by Jack Donaghy from 30 Rock.
Yes.
That's what I feel like. Just end with synergy. Hopefully it makes its way into games.
PlayStation
all
Assistant.
This work. That's what I think. Yeah,
That's
I think
what
without a doubt, PlayStation Assistant is in there. But I mean like in games, but not just UI related. But
well, that's a thing. That's the thing that we could talk about later as well. It's an interesting. That's a rabbit hole discussion.
Let's not start that just yet.
No.
And finally, the final story of the Rapidfire and the final story of the night. Resident Evil 3 remake rumors are growing stronger and stronger. Now with a target release date, supposedly, of just 2020.
Well, hold up. 2020?
2020.
Doesn't that feel a little fast?
Not really. I think they've been working on this for a while.
But I'm saying with Resident Evil 2 came out this year.
Yeah.
I think it's
granted late 2020 is the specific like rumor. So like a year and a half after Resident Evil 2 remake. I think they might have even been working on these simultaneously to an extent. Just makes sense. And 2 remake did so well. It actually has sold as much as the original PS1 release of Resident Evil 2.
That's
at this point, which is amazing. Not the best selling. I think it's somewhere close to 5 million now, whereas the best selling are actually 5 and 6. Crazily enough, those are the best selling Resident Evil games. But this, I think, 2 remake did considerably better than 7. So, it makes sense that they would want to continue down that trajectory.
Yeah, I still think 8 is going to follow, and we talked about that though, so it's fine. I do think 8's going to follow in what 7's footsteps was, and I think 3 is following. They're doing that. They're grabbing all the people who want their Resident Evil games.
Get your Resident Evil game. All WB related things, Wolfie, and also I did not start The Mandalorian since I saw you bring that up earlier. I'm still just focusing on Watchmen right now, which, by the way, I watched the newest episode of Watchmen tonight, with there being another new episode tomorrow. Holy shit, man. That show just keeps getting better and better. Oh, my God.
I need to get on that.
Love it. I love that show. great first season. Maybe only season, but I'm sure they'll do another season because I think it's doing pretty well overall. I think it's doing well enough for HBO that they'll do another season. But anyway, that is the Rapid Fire News Roundup. And that is the show, everybody. We got an after show coming up after this, but that is the Level Up show. Lots of great discussions tonight. Long show. 10 pages agenda.
10
3
pages
hour.
agenda.
3 hour and 15-minute episode of the Level Up show. So much to discuss tonight. But yeah, a lot of good discussion, man. Thank you for joining me, Vince.
Yeah, no problem. And I did my best to not derail off with Death Stranding all night, so it's all
If
good.
you did, this would have been a 4-hour show. So
I
yes.
know. I would have Kojima. This would have been a 7-hour show. We'd still be here.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to everybody in the chat that's still here, we got 37 people in here. Hit that heart button here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Turn on notifications. Make sure you get alerts whenever I go live with Variety Gaming on Wednesdays and The Level Up Show on Saturdays. Also, give Vince that follow. There he is in chat, Agent Vincent 4756. He's on very often. He's been going through Death Stranding, and now he's moving on to other things because he finished Death Stranding.
Yes.
So definitely check out his channel. He's been so supportive recently, helping me out, so I don't have to make this into a solo effort on The Level Up Show. It's not easy to do a talk show by yourself, so having a second voice is so beneficial. Thank you for being here, Vince, as always.
Yeah, well, thank you for.
What are you going to be playing this week?
So for right now, if tomorrow happens, it's going to be trying to get Assassin's Creed Odyssey finally finished. Like I said, I'm at the very tail end of the last DLC for it. After that, though, once Odyssey's done, the chat wanted it, I bought it. It's going to be Star Wars Fallen Order.
I'm coming up on that too, I think, for you guys. I think that I'm going to do Death Stranding on Wednesday. And I think I might start trying my very best to play it off stream as well so I can get this game done. I really need to get it done. I don't want to move on and just put it in the backlog and never come back to it. So hopefully once that's done in the next month or so, you'll see me get into Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and hopefully get that wrapped up before 7 Remake comes out. Because that's probably the next big thing after that for me, is 7 Remake.
Yeah.
I also got Ori and the Will of the Wisps as another one that I'm definitely going to be playing next year. And might be timing my Xbox Game Pass stuff with that. I just subscribed to Game Pass tonight for $1 to get 3 months, and then right before that 3 months wraps up, I will cancel it, and then I will restart it with the Discord Nitro code, so I can get another 3 months. So I should have 6 months starting from now of Game Pass. So I shouldn't have any issue doing Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is awesome because I'm so excited for that. Also, Silk Song is the other big one that I really, really want to play. So you can look forward to that on stream as well. Unfortunately, that game is probably going to be massive, just like Hollow Knight is. So how am I going to play these games? I have no idea.
And then you still have to play Control, so you can understand
my Control too.
So you can understand my love on that. The nice thing about Control is honestly, I think if you just more mainline that one, you could probably get that done in 12 hours. Okay. You honestly could.
That's good. Hopefully. That's what to say. All right, don't go anywhere, guys. Even though we're doing our outro here, stick around because we got Level Up after show starting up right after credits, and it'll be entirely focused on you guys in the chat with media share active for just $1. But thank you so much to everybody for watching. If you are heading out, I hope to see you again very soon. Hit that follow button, turn on notifications, and check us out throughout the week with gaming talk shows and game streams. Until next time, take care. And as always, don't forget to level up.
Level up.